Sounds good.
Ooh. Over here. Hi.
Yep. Okay, so we're back streaming. Your power is still completely borked, so you came over in person.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so as I was saying last time, you guys dealt with Vivian, who insisted that you meet, and she kept Zephyr's father hostage. You defeated her in a tense series of discussions and combat. She was
Trying to talk her down.
Didn't quite work. She was taken out, and but protected with magical backup plans. And the Archmage Therion appeared, took her back with him, and told you guys to get out of here, don't come back. And that was letting you off pretty easy. Seemed like he was more angry at Vivian than you all. He returns Zephyr's parents to you. You got a not bottomless pit. I'm gonna sneeze.
Portable hole.
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze, but I'm not gonna sneeze. Okay,
Pineapple.
it didn't work. Anyway, a portable hole, which was the reward of that. And then you flew back to Drakengard and discussed what to do next. They, being Sir and Zephyr, they took the airship to the west to the Olmathian woods to deal with the darkness, potentially, and the Tabor, and helping out the village of Oakhart, leaving you two free to travel to your hometown of Kellanora, where there are two objectives. One, meet again with your mother, who
get some answers.
Wants to see you, it seems like. And for Demiria, your father, who you long believed to be dead, is actually sort of a deep cover agent for your tribe, living in Kellanora as a blacksmith, and he has asked for help getting out from the tribe, and you're going to go with Kaz to do that somehow.
All right. The two drow going into the Reznor
Going home.
drow dominion, yeah. I think we need a lot of information about the Reznor, or at least Demiria does.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I will fill
Kind
her
of
in
a
as
plan.
to what my home life was like before I left.
Yeah. So, generally speaking, you were the second child of your mom. It was your older brother, you, and then your sister. You were the least favored of the three, and kind of an accident, based on your knowledge of how your mother dealt with it and whatnot.
Right.
You were
And
not
the fact that I'm not a full drow.
Yeah, you're half drow, and half something else, probably human.
That's what I want answers on.
Yes. She never told you anything about that. She never really addressed it, and you don't know who your siblings' parents are either. Fathers are. It's generally just she picks people that she likes. She's like, you
Yeah.
need your help.
Patriarchal society.
And
Got something I want.
yeah. So that's the general arrangement.
You see this fluff right here?
Yep. Flooping.
Just flopped.
Collapsed.
Straight
You
onto me.
have a friend.
So, generally speaking, growing up, you lived in that kind of dynamic where you were not well favored. You wore the garb that designates you by your class and status as a son of the Duchess, the high priestess of Kellanora. And while they gave you certain social standing, you were also marked as by just nature of being a half drow. Everyone knew exactly what you were, the bastard child, the one that did not receive the same respect and accountability as the rest.
There's the women in the society, there's the men in the society, then there's me below that even.
Right, the half breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's where you were. So
Half-blood.
you dealt with that your whole life, and after you made your deal with the Blue Duke and gained your power, it was found out due to the branding and the
fact that I just started wielding magic somehow.
Right. You brought forth I can do magic, I could be useful to your mom, and she's like, how you doing that, huh? And after some interrogation, found out that the source of your power seemed to be some kind of deal with some fiendish entity,
Yeah.
which is incredibly taboo in Drow society, given their history of demon worship in the past, in the Underdark and whatnot. So they promptly expelled you from society, kicking you out, and telling you to leave and never come back.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother didn't even like see you off. She just said like, get out, and turned away, and that was the last you heard from her.
Mm-hmm.
Until very recently, when you cast Sending to talk, and she's like, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Like, I hear you've been doing great things. You should come visit, have dinner. It'll be nice. Bring your friends. And that was the general vibe that you got, which is very at odds with the last time you heard from her.
Uh-huh.
And from the way that you dealt with your sibling and older brother, and by extension sister, back in Archelon many months ago, as they were attempting to subvert and poison the well, so to speak,
Right.
and you turned them into the authorities before they broke out. So, all that being said, what do you want to know about Reznor society?
Well, Kaz, I'm a drow, but I obviously am not Reznor.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hide you.
That was my question. Is it better to disguise myself as a Reznor drow, or do you think your mom already knows that you have a drow friend?
I mean, I imagine word has gotten out of the Greymore gang to people, but we could not make it overtly known that you are Niambani. You could just be, I mean, I don't know how well word has spread of like who exactly the four of us are.
Because your siblings didn't meet. They just met you. They
Right.
didn't meet the rest of us.
And it's really just the stories that have traveled of like, exactly what do the stories say, right? It's a drow barbarian,
Rides and Warbounder.
right,
That's basically it.
right. So if you could, not give away, for your and your father's sake, not give away your exact heritage.
So, I have a little bit of a maybe kind of crazy plan.
Okay.
Your mom is inviting you back. You were exiled. You have lower standing. I'm a female drow. What if we
The classic plan.
pull the classic rom-com plan and pretend that we got married, and you're bringing home a new drow woman who
So you would not be part of the Greymore gang, or
we would, or I could be.
like you are?
That doesn't preclude that. We need to come up with another place of the Reznor that your mom might not know, not know about, but like where should I be from? An obscure part of the Reznor, maybe.
Somewhere, because Archelon is just like literally across the mountain from
Yes.
from Kellanora.
Maybe like maybe a colony. Do they have colonies?
We could say that we went across the Midlands and that we went, around. We went up to the Dark Spires, then came down. I don't know, in the Burstpot Valley or somewhere around there. Like I don't know if there are cities.
Essentially, the Reznor Dominion. I'll just draw the region that it encompasses.
Okay.
So it's basically. That's the Reznor Dominion.
Right.
So everything within that region is directly controlled.
So-
Yeah, we don't want to give away that you're from Niambani, so I wouldn't say like Haze Pool. Also, like, how did we get there if it's on this side of the mountains, right? Maybe because we're teleporting, it doesn't quite matter
Well,
where you're from.
It doesn't. I don't think it matters in terms of like how feasible it was to get to Kellanora. I think it matters in that she will get suspicious if I don't have yes, I'm a drow
Background.
from, I don't know, Nuxvar.
Yeah, and you're familiar with the general geography of of the empire. So Shelthalis is the capital.
Right.
Lots of people there. Many like noble houses and whatnot.
You might
Yvatlos is like the other large city of the Reznor Dominion, but
Right.
it's more of like a coastal trading city, and it's also highly militarized. It was like the launching point for all the attacks on Atria and the Flash Wars.
You could be from Yvatlos. You are a, very
Warrior
capable.
family.
Yeah.
That would work. The other smaller regions like Nuxvar, Pelwyn, Hazepool, Flunat, they're all like villages, and there's a bit more diversity there, but they're definitely like looked down upon by the rest of Drow society.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I could be like, I left Kellanora and went to, Greymore, met people from the Greymore gang, and you came from Uvalos to Greymore, and we just happened to be Drow, and we hit it off or whatever.
I think that works. And I was in Greymore because I was...
On vacation.
Who goes to vacation in Greymore?
Very few people.
On my way to vacation, or maybe...
Yeah.
There was... No, I don't want to overcomplicate the backstory.
Mm-hmm. Keep it simple. Kaz, make a history check for me.
History is 14 plus 6, so dirty 20.
20. Yeah, this would probably work. Like I said, there's many... Your mom is the Duchess, and she doesn't really... Well, she knows everyone who's someone. She doesn't know every small, minor, noble, and, like, lesser class. But you do know the importance of, like, status and class in your community.
Right.
So if you're wanting to put her off as, like, a kind of minor noble, that would certainly be a lot more substantial in earning respect and, like, treating her with the proper amount of demeanor as opposed to, like, a nobody from some smaller place.
Right.
Okay, and then I need a name because Demiria of the Kubiri sounds very not drow.
Right.
What's like the Mary of drow names?
Mary?
Yeah, like, you know, there's somebody, like, it's just a standard name. I would be asking Kaz.
Drow name. Yeah, hold on, let me...
I've got a list. Let's see. Roll for it. Casmet.
Kaz and Casmet.
That would be a standard one. If that's too weird, we can roll again. How about Alice?
Alice.
Or perhaps Ermina.
Ermina's fine.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And you can... Again, you had to, like, memorize all the noble houses at one point. You could just be a lesser-known, like, branch of a small military family from Yavatalos, Ermina, Shield Warden.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I like that cover story. We need some Reznor garb. You have some, right?
He has his old outfit, and he bought some nicer stuff that was, like, not, like, bastard status clothes. It was just, like, standard, like, Reznor Dominion upper class wear.
Right. So we're in Drakengard, so we can probably find something.
You can certainly either buy or have something tailor-made to fit.
Yeah, I figure we just buy you some, like,
Standard.
warrior noble clothing. It might be a little bit more expensive.
Or harder to find, too, because that's pretty specific.
Yeah.
There are, like, subtle, like, tailoring different... You know the differences. You recognize them. But,
for a military house, you'd be, your proper garb would look that of, like, Navy, where it's very, like, clean-cut and pressed.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's go out, see what we can find.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Maybe find something and get it tailored if we need to.
Yeah.
How common are moorbounders?
In the south of the Darkspires, not at all.
Okay.
They're all, like, regional into the Midlands and above.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you were up there, you acquired a moorbounder,
I tamed the moorbounder.
You tamed it, and you were,
But the moorbounder can talk now.
Mittens speaks up as you're discussing this plan, and the airship has left. You're currently just, like, sitting out in the park discussing what to do next. And he's sitting next to you guys, and he says, "Well, I wouldn't say tamed is the right word. Maybe partnered. We got together, and I joined up and thought it was mutually beneficial, but..."
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're right. That's more how it went.
So what's my cover?
Well, you and Demiria are bonded.
A bonded warrior duo.
Exactly, yeah.
Do I get to talk to your mom?
I mean, moorbounders don't usually talk?
Here's my concern.
Guess not.
I
Not common.
don't
Right.
want you to be, like, caught by someone who wants to, like, put you in a zoo or something because you're talking moorbounder. You have agency. You shouldn't be put in a zoo or
It
study.
does sound like the kind of thing that the Reznor might try and do.
Exactly.
So I think I want you to have input on this as well, but I'm talking to Mittens kind of about how part of the thing is we need to go find her father. Maybe you can be a scout. Sneaky. How
Am I
sneaky
sneaky?
do you feel?
Oh, pretty sneaky. I can stalk prey pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know how good I am being sneaky in a city filled with people, but
I
Fair.
mean, I feel like what's gonna happen is they're gonna say, "What the heck is that?" Put you in a stable and make you chill out there.
So maybe he just needs to stick with us.
maybe my deep cover is I just pretend to be normal Moorbounder versus special Moorbounder, which I am now.
You're a very special Warbounder.
Yes,
I don't
I
think
know.
any other of you exist.
I don't need you to affirm that. It's true. Um,
Alright. Maybe we get him like a little Reznor thing to put on his barding or something.
yeah, you know there's like
Oh,
standard
yeah.
insignia for the different noble houses that go on their mounts and whatnot. You can have that made.
We can find a find a place that would make
Yeah.
an insignia.
Okay, so you're
Alright,
looking
let's
for
go do that.
all this stuff. Both of you make investigation checks. No bard to give you inspiration this time.
Oh, I know. We're gonna... No bard.
No bard.
Alright.
Well, that's fine. I'm charismatic. Don't need a bard. See? Yeah. Investigation, you said?
Mm-hmm.
15 plus 6, 21.
14.
14. You do walk around, knowing exactly what you're looking for. It takes you a while, but you do find like a secondhand dealer in exotic clothes, and they have exactly what you need. They have a set of women's military garb from the Reznor. It's dusty and a little like outdated.
Could have it updated.
Yeah, you could tailor it to make it a bit more
Yeah.
cleaned up.
I
and-
think it's perfect.
He looks you up and down, says, you part of that Greymoor gang?
Yeah. That's us.
Oh, very cool. Well, I'll give this to you on special sale. Pats the outfit. He says, for you, 80 gold.
Well, for her.
For her.
Alright.
What
Do you
what
do
did our
tailoring?
other
Or is he just a reseller?
Just a reseller. You have to go somewhere else.
what did our other clothes? The last time that I got clothes, what did it cost?
Like 15 gold.
Seems like these are
That seems
rare.
80 gold. It's a little high, don't you think? I mean, I got
Oh,
what I'm wearing for
Sure.
15.
That's common enough. These types of things, they don't come through here very often. We don't get military outfits. It's very, very rare.
Can I make an inside check to see if he's
Sure.
trying to
Swindle.
pull a fast one on us? Because we're the part of the Greymoor gang. Insight is 13. Rolled a 13.
It's hard to say. I mean, maybe he's cutting you a deal. Who knows?
And I rolled a 13 if that counts.
Oh, that doesn't.
Yeah.
I was like, don't
add
worry
that
about
to
it.
the list.
Do you do tailoring? Or do you know a tailor?
Oh yeah, my buddy down the street points across this small, like clustered. This is like a bunch of tailor shops. There's one right across the street who would be able to do it.
Alright.
Tell him Motley sent you.
Okay. Well,
Alright, thank
I
you,
mean-
Motley.
You wanna go have Mr. Marion?
Sure.
40 gold each.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna need you to tell them what to tailor to make it look updated.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a vague recollection of before I left what things looked like.
Yeah, I'll make a history check. Also, you're 13 away from bad things,
Uh-oh.
so it's important next time you roll one.
You mean like right now?
Yes.
Seriously?
Like I just rolled 2 13s in a row.
Nice. Excellent. So,
Oh no, this is a bad time to
this
have
is the
the
best time for this
curse
to
of
happen.
bad luck.
You're looking around. You go across the street, and you're explaining to this other tailor. Tell them Motley sent you what exactly you need. You recall pretty clearly what you recall the Yovatlos military garb looking like when you were there. Still, the last time you saw a person who was visiting a emissary, and they do a pretty good job. It seems like they take some measurements, fit it to you, and hand you a outfitted, updated military garb outfit. They smile at you. You see they have probably half their teeth, and they're like, "Well, thanks for the business. Now that you are all taken care of, that'll be 40 gold."
All right. I
Seems a little steep for tailoring.
that's
Inside
as
check.
much to make it.
Oh, that's my insight. 7.
Huh? You don't have any. You have no knowledge of the relative tailoring prices in Drakengard. 40 gold it is.
All right.
Alright, well,
You
okay.
do 20, I do 20.
Yep. Yeah, got it now fully outfitted. You have your relatively updated and armor as well, which is more, as respectable as like formal wear.
Right.
And I'm assuming the sleeves are full sleeves. Are they
Yes,
full
so
sleeves?
this is like like you said, kind of a navy outfit. It's like
Right.
sort of suit and pants, very formal and stiff and starched. But and then with like simple patterns on the shoulders that demark you as a member of the Yavalis military.
The Shield Warden clan. Shield, yeah.
All right.
Alright, so we still need a plan.
I'll say they also make a little patch for Mittens to put on the barding as well.
Perfect. Something that matches.
Yep.
Matches a patch for her.
Well, we're gonna teleport in there. And you're gonna let her know ahead of time we're coming, right?
I would assume that I asked Zephyr for a sending on the Ring of Spellstoring.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I have that. I can say, hey, we're gonna show up at the teleportation sigil in the main room, the main house. Could you, don't be alarmed when we show up.
What time did you say? What time you're gonna arrive?
Wait, are you saying that right now?
What time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in
A couple hours this evening? Right before
this
dinner?
evening. Yeah.
Okay.
What time is it now?
That's like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so like 5.
Okay.
Alright, so we need to come up with a plan.
She replies back to you. Excellent. Can't wait to host you. We'll have dinner and everything. I will be at the temple until later this evening. Join me there and we'll return for dinner.
Still extremely strange.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what's going on.
The temple she's referring to, her work, her post when she's not at the mansion is in the temple in Kalanora, across the way from the mansion. So you would know, you've been there, you know exactly where to go to find her. After she's done with work, she'll walk back with you to the mansion for dinner.
Right, like teleport path to the temple back home.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I let her know we're gonna teleport in. We'll go meet her at the temple, and we'll come back for dinner.
Perfect.
It's very strange. She's never spoken to me like this before. I don't know what to make of it. It feels like a trap.
It kind of does, which is why I think we just need to be prepared.
Did we just spring the trap?
How much do you think she knows about you and what?
I can only imagine whatever word of the Greymore gang has gotten out. I wonder how. I guess can I make an insight check to see how think like her of how she would feel knowing that I betrayed my brother and sister in Archelon.
Insight check.
Three.
You don't know exactly how she would respond. You can't really incite what her motivations would be. But from your experiences, knowing her preferences and the general status, had it occurred in Kalanora in some way that you had majorly publicly subverted your siblings, there would probably be whipping involved.
Damn. So yeah,
Interesting,
maybe
okay.
she's trying to get you back home. I don't know, man.
I
You
think
have to
it's
meet
a
her
trap.
at a temple, right? Do you want to go alone and have me and Mittens trail you in case there's
I think that would just lead to more questions, and we don't want people asking questions about you because we need you to have, fairly good cover while you're trying to find your dad.
right? I want to be able to have one
How are you going to do that, by the way?
facade. I have not thought that through. I want to have one facade with your mom, and one, and be able to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could, ask to show you around the city, as
Okay.
a guided
Yeah.
tour, right? Make sure that
Yeah.
you don't get anywhere you're not supposed to be.
That's true. That's
Um,
true. Although that she doesn't trust you. What?
She's gonna put up a facade that she
Yeah.
does, I don't know how long that will last, but we can play into that for as long as we can.
And I want her to try. I want to try to get her to trust me. If she doesn't trust you, maybe she'll trust
That you're keeping
that
in
I'm.
line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, look, Mom, I married a nice, powerful drow woman, and I'm home,
And she's gonna take care of me.
And
Should put me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go live in, Yuvatlos or whatever
once we're done traveling the world, we've been traveling for
with
our
the
honeymoon.
Greymore gang. Yeah, once we're done doing what we're doing with the Greymore gang, which is very important, then we'll go back to live in Yuvatlos and take your post back up.
Yes.
Very prestigious.
If this is the plan, I need to know about, or well, both of us need to know about Reznor Drow marriage customs. Should
Yeah.
we,
Oh boy, yeah. I don't know a lot from the.
and if it's a matriarchal society, if you marry in, what does that mean?
You would be, in the dynamic you're presenting as the standard, you would certainly have higher status than him.
I think that could be helpful
You...
to prevent you from getting killed.
Right, you could, you demand from me to see the city, and as long as that's fine with people.
Both of you are not particularly high. You're not
Sure.
your mom's level or even your siblings level, but you're
Right.
still middle tier, upper class.
It would make sense for a female of mid tier to marry a male of my tier.
Right.
Okay. Do we need to be wearing rings or anything?
Oh, yeah.
No, there's no such custom.
It doesn't seem like they're a very loving.
No,
romantic
if you
society.
if you travel in pairs, it's assumed that you're together, generally speaking.
Right.
And yeah, that's mostly it. There isn't a lot in terms of, it's not considered polite conversation to inquire about the nuptials and the ceremony. It's not part of the societal norms. You get married. It's a formal union.
Right.
Okay. And it's a
More convenient than anything else.
right.
Yeah.
It could be a political move,
Right.
Would make sense
In
for
fact,
me.
Yeah.
Both of you, it would make sense politically. Also, your mother would probably expect exactly that. You are trying to marry into the circles that he's involved with. So even though he was exiled, she's probably going to come. You would know to expect that he's going to expect that of you. It's very much back and forth, kind of. Everything is all sorts of stuff is happening below the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's very polite and above the table, but the whole time people are stabbing each other all the time underneath the table.
Excellent.
And pretending not to be in pain. So, that's how these things go in your city.
So I think that's a good plan. I'm Ermina, Shield Warden, and at some point we will go take a walking tour of the city, and I think at that point we should try to sniff out some information. And also, who knows? The plan could change once we find out what your mom is after.
Right. It could be, a trap the second we show up. It could be a trap after dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner could be poisoned. I wouldn't put any of these things below my family
Yeah.
at this point, considering what they assume I am and have done.
All right. You guys ready? Mittens will come along and be a dumb pet.
I think
Pretend to be.
yes. But we know that we can
Mittens is
buddy up when we need
how's
it.
this? And he takes on this expression on his face where he sticks his tongue out a little bit. His eyes are kind of unfocused and looking opposite directions.
Too much.
He goes, meow, and gets down, starts licking his balls, and
A
just
little too much for polite company.
looks
You're
up in the
supposed
air.
to be a warrior steed.
Warrior steed. Right, got it. And immediately gets super aggressive, the spines protrude and bristle, and he's like,
Too much.
Warrior
too much
steed
the
at
other way.
rest. Noble beast.
at rest. Noble beast. Okay, noble beast. Right. Just myself then.
Like
Yeah.
a statue.
Okay. I will be as still as possible.
Move with no. Move with purpose. Just if you don't talk and be yourself, you should be fine.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Ready when you are.
Okay.
I'll
Let's,
get the chalk out and I guess we're in a.
You're just in a park, so you could easily just on the flagstones draw this out and do it here.
I guess it gets erased afterwards, so I'm not
Yeah.
vandalizing anything. So all right, start drawing out the thing.
Once it's time to go in the evening.
A couple people are walking and they're like, "Oh, is this a street performance?"
No. This is dangerous magic. I wouldn't stand too close. It's teleportation. You know, we're seeing the city and it's time
you
for us
see
to
like
hop.
a dwarf woman grab her daughter's hand and like walk away quickly, looking over her shoulder, and you see her go over to one of the Drake riders that's like at the end of the road and like pull on his coattails. He
We
looks
better
down there and
go.
start talking.
Better go. Let's go.
Yep, you know, it takes me a full
minute,
minute
but you
to
finish in
to
time,
do
yeah.
this. So, you know, do the 2 concentric circles and start doing the runes on the outside, and I'm like, what's the last one?
History check.
Actually,
I'll give you advantage.
okay. Fuck.
Oh boy.
You have the curse of bad luck.
End up in the middle of the skull basin.
2 and a 3.
Nice. You take your time. You fill out.
History's +6. So
You fill out the full circle to the best of your ability. It looks correct.
All right.
all right,
Shall we?
gather up, everybody,
Step into the circle.
and I'll, you know, fuck.
You watch as you look up and you see the Drake Warden is like trotting over, like, hey.
I'm like, hi, boom.
You
Bye.
activate the teleportation circle. It flares in a white light. You feel the sensation of travel, and it's curse of bad luck.
Oh no. No. Oh.
Can I?
So- Normally, teleportation circles have no chance of failure because you are inscribing a certain series of runes.
Right.
This is all based on your recollection, which when you previously thought of it, you were very confident, you gave it to Zephyr to use. Here, in this moment, with the added pressure and the curse of bad luck, you find yourself, as you appear in your end destination, it is not the backyard of your mother's decorative garden. It is a location unfamiliar to you, and I need to
Crap.
think about what's about to happen.
Oh no. I would immediately not recognize this place.
Mm-hmm.
And would like to know where I am.
Will we make perception checks?
Kaz, is this where we're supposed to be?
Definitely not. Where do I look? Do I see anybody?
No, you don't see people.
22.
22.
Nice, nat 1. The bad luck thing is
Oh, no.
really taking its toll.
Excellent. Yeah, you have no idea where you are. You look around, you are in a jungle. You are standing on a broken platform like this teleportation circle, but it's ancient and overgrown with moss and ferns and partially broken. You're standing in a deep, humid, tropical jungle.
I didn't think Kalanora. I thought it was in the mountains.
Kind of is.
Yeah. No, we're way off.
Check.
Oof.
As you are standing here,
So I'm standing in a teleportation circle, right?
it's on
Could I
circle.
just do it again?
It takes another minute.
Well, because we're already on a circle, right? It's like already having one.
Well, that's the destination. You have to reinscribe a new circle to the correct
Oh,
destination for it to work.
Shit. Okay.
What did you just like get the circle wrong?
I
Or do you
think so.
Or does your mom not actually want us to? Oh no! Do you think she rewired it so we?
No.
Can you do
Hold
that?
Hold on. These runes don't look right. I think that one's supposed to be over there, and I think that one. Maybe that one's upside down.
Sure, your mom didn't just like take her teleportation circle and chuck it in the woods.
No, this one's old, and I recognize those two symbols not being in the right place. I think I fucked that up.
As you're talking about this, you hear something rustling in the undergrowth.
Oh no!
You look over, and crawling out is this hyena-like creature, but
It's a gnoll.
no, it's like on all fours, like a dog. But as it like steps forth and looks at you guys, you see where its eyes are just burning little embers, and opens its mouth, and it's glowing from within. It like exhales a hiss, and steam comes out of its mouth, and you watch as like its saliva drips onto the ground, and starts burning little pools of acid. Roll initiative.
Oh, excuse me.
Roll
What's
initiative.
that? Are you doing initiative and stuff for mittens?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't have a battle map for this, so
Well,
we're just
probably-
gonna use imagination here for this encounter.
Alright, I am super cursed with the dice rolls.
I rolled a 19.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Let me do. What do I want to do? See, you can never prepare for everything. You have.
Yeah,
Everything
I didn't
ready.
know that I was gonna roll 2 13s in a row.
That was just so funny. He's like, 1 more 13 and you get the curse of bad luck. And you're like,
You mean like this one?
like this one?
Like this curse of bad luck?
But I've got the curse of good luck because this little kitty right here just wants to pass.
Tamiria and this creature. I will.
Nice improv battle.
Yeah, we'll just do it for the grid. There's no fun details whatsoever. Let's see if we can find something that's jungle-like. And then I'll do mittens as well. Mittens. That's mittens.
Mittens? Oh god, what the fuck is that thing?
Mitten says, I don't like it.
We're not where we're supposed to be. You guys know what to do.
It's mittens. It's pretty unearthly. Rolling initiative. Also, Zarut is there. 'Cause there's always
yeah,
a million
Zarut's with
creatures.
us.
He's always just on my shoulder.
Yep.
Alright.
Tokens.
Kaz, we have no bard here to heal us when we're...
Don't remind me.
So let's try not to get fucked up.
And you're wearing like your nice. You guys are like fully outfitted for a dinner.
Oh, no.
You're not. I will say, Kaz, you can be wearing your armor and have your sword and everything. Demiria, you would have most of your stuff that you need. Your glaive is nearby, but like I would say you don't have your cloak of stealthiness or whatever. You just like you're wearing a suit, a nice
Right.
suit, custom tailored for this lovely occasion you're going
Now,
to.
I would have brought my cloak of stealthiness. It's probably just in Mittens'
Yeah, and it would
Yes.
take you some time to put it on or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
And then I'm getting a nice little map here because I do have these things. I just have to like have enough time to do it. Cool, that'll work.
It's the most chill cat ever.
Figure grid.
Both of them just like conked out.
Capacity.
Ooh, this is my first combat with my new Sentinel feat.
That's right. Okay, now we're ready. We're in the jungle. We have our creatures, and all this is happening. It's here, it's here, this thing is over here, Kaz is over here. Okay, initiative, order, it goes there. Kaz, what'd you get?
I got a 4.
4, nice. Mittens is going to roll his own initiative now,
Damn.
and Demiria,
A 19.
19. Mittens goes first. Mittens is going to like kind of grumble at this creature and charge forward saying like, don't worry guys, I'm going to help this time, and he's going to charge at it. He's going to do 2 attacks with his blades.
Mittens, you
or
help
with his
every
claws.
time.
Not his blades. So an 18 and a 23, both of those hit.
Awakened Bristled Moorbounder.
He's dealing 30 slashing damage on his turn.
Damn!
Hacking and slashing at this creature, this like hyena-like monster. They're actually pretty similar in size, but he does a good number to it, and he roars in its face, and he's like, "Back, monster!" Demiria.
I will also run forward, I guess. Right up next to Mittens.
Okay,
Right there.
sure.
And take an attack with my halberd. Yes, that's what I was looking for. And because I guess Mittens was an ally before, but I get sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1d20.
Oh boy.
Damn. Okay, I rolled a nat 1.
Yeah, you miss.
Okay. Well, I'll take a second attack.
Try again.
Now an unnatural 20.
Does hit.
Unnatural or does?
Unnatural.
Okay.
That does hit.
Do I only get sneak attack on the first attack?
The first time you hit it, a turn.
Okay, so I would still get sneak
yeah,
attack here.
Still get it.
Roll damn D6s.
2d6. Did I do that right?
I don't know. So 1d10 plus 6 plus 2d6, right?
Did I type it out right?
I think so.
Oh,
So
okay.
you rolled a 2 and 3 and 4 plus 6. Okay. 15 slashing damage with your sneak attack. The second hit.
Okay, and I have a bonus action. And another attack, I believe. This one's just +9. What? Oh. I haven't used Foundry to roll dice in forever.
That'll hit.
Okay.
And remember that you can use the hot bar to do it all with one click instead of typing it all out.
That's right. 9.
9 damage. All right. 3 attacks, 2 hit. Very good. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right. The Shusuva will lash its tail, and you watch it come up behind it. There is a horrible barbed stinger on it. It's going to try and sting you.
Me?
Yeah. It's going to do tail stinger attack. 11 to hit.
That does not hit.
Sad. And it's going to try and bite you for a 16.
That does not hit.
Wow. Yeah, you dive out of the way for both of them, and it roars in frustration. Kaz.
Well, I'm going to trying to save some energy here. Fire off some Eldritch Blasts.
Eldritch Blast.
Do you want me to roll to hit for all 3 of them, or just roll damage, roll damage, roll damage?
Roll for all 3 first.
Okay. Well, that was a 19 for the first one.
Ripped him.
Damn it.
Oh, it was over
An
your head.
18 and a 13. Wow.
18 hits, 13 doesn't hit.
Well, it's 13 plus 8.
Oh.
All that is plus 8. I rolled a 13 and 18 and a 19.
Yeah, they all hit then.
Okay.
So,
So 3d10 plus
Let me do
12, please. Yeah.
3d10 plus 12. 39.
Woo.
2 10s and a 7. 39
Nice.
force damage from a cantrip.
Holy cow.
Nice.
Ridiculous. Yeah, you blast it twice. It
3 times.
roars 3 times.
Yeah.
Roars angrily. Pretty badly hurt.
And then I'm going to bonus action Zarut. Get him.
All right. Do you want him just to do his normal attacks?
Yeah. I might need him as a distraction later.
Okay.
In Kilnora.
He will fly over and try to sting it with a 20, which does hit, dealing 3 piercing damage. It does not make a con save because it's immune to poison. That's its turn. Mittens. He's going to run around behind it and
I guess the poison would negate the unconscious part.
Yeah. It just can't take any of that effect. It's going to attack that thing's tail and try to bite it off with its claws. That's a 20 and a 14. They both hit, dealing 30 slashing damage.
Damn.
Mittens doing work. He roars happily as he's chewing and slicing through this thing's tail.
Mittens!
It's looking pretty bad, Miriam.
Best Greymoor gang member.
Hit it again.
Strongest gang member.
Oh wait, do I have a hotkey?
Yes, so if you, in Foundry, if you hover over
Halberd.
inventory, Halberd +1, and you roll the 28 to hit, you click the damage button in the chat, and it rolls the damage. There you go.
All
Nice
right.
and easy. So, 28 to
13.
hit, 13 slashing damage.
And plus my sneak attack?
Yep,
Is that one of my... Oh, yes. Haha. 11 extra.
11 extra, so 24. How do you want to finish it off?
Boy.
So Mittens is
Got its tail
got
in its mouth.
tail and he's ripping it, and I'm just going to get it right between the eyes.
Okay. You whack down on it. The light in its mouth and eyes flickers and goes out as it collapses in a heap on the ground. The smell is horrible. As you look at it, you can see there's gaps in its rib cage where there's fire kind of smoldering and slowly goes out.
What?
Clearly
That's
not a
weird.
natural creature.
Yeah. Does it look demonic?
Can we check it out a little
Make
bit?
a
Is
nature
someone
check.
Dead?
Make a nature or arcana check, your pick.
I will do.
Can I do
The whole
a survival check and try to open it?
Sure. What'd you roll?
Information on the inside?
I rolled a 2 plus 2, so.
Nice. Give it more shakes before you roll it.
Yeah, I know. I'm literally doing this and twirling it and picking one at random.
But that's too periodic. Things will come around full circle. You gotta really just shake it randomly.
Well, I'm doing this and picking one at random and then chucking it in.
Okay, it's better.
14.
14. What'd you roll?
Not working. Kitty, can you bless?
Oh yes, Kitty can bless with that.
Kitty headbutts the die. This is lucky die now.
So what'd you roll, Josh?
Huh?
What'd you roll?
Oh, like a 4.
Okay. Yeah, you crack it open. Its ribs are really brittle. They're kind of like blackened. They don't really seem to be bone, but like maybe rock, something else.
This is weird.
Deeply unnatural creature.
Man, I wish Zephyr was here. She took arcane zoology.
It's true.
Well, let's make some notes of it, but I don't think we should stick around here.
No, I'm gonna start drawing that circle. The corrected circle,
Yeah.
hopefully.
How are you gonna do that? There's like grass and ferns everywhere.
Is there a spot of like sand or dirt that I could...
That's a good point. Make an investigation check, both of you, to find an open enough spot to properly draw on.
Without getting attacked again. Okay, investigation is 11 plus 6 for 17.
8.
Okay. Yeah, you do find another spot nearby. It's a boulder with like a flat rock shelf. You're both sweating profusely from the jungle. You go over to it and begin drawing this. It'll take a full minute. You do hear now and then like kind of animal cries. This entire region is full of life.
It sounds like it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw the circle, hopefully correct this time. Make sure I, flip those sigils and turn that one around and double check it and kind of like look at it before I do the thing.
Extra carefully draw the circle. You inspect this whole area, double check it, and as you're like triple checking it, you hear more like weird animal cries coming from nearby, closer. You glance over and you see this tree kind of shuffle out of the nearby forest. It's a tree, but it has like moving limbs, and you watch as part of the bark opens and like 3 eyes peer out from inside, like eyeballs that are kind of moving around.
Yes,
they
I don't like
shift.
that.
It's very awful.
We should go.
That's interesting. I'm sure Zephyr would like it, but let's get the fuck out of here. Everybody get around.
And you turn on the teleportation circle. This time, flash of light, you transport, you slam down in a beautiful decorative garden. In the middle of a small gazebo in the backyard of your childhood home, the House Daetoris, the home of your mother and siblings and yourself at one point. You're standing in a beautiful, like, open garden. There are pristine lined trees on either side leading up to a mansion. There are pools of water with jumping fountains and like magically enchanted lights floating around, gently illuminating the space. It is a gorgeous, wealthy, well-kept garden.
Home? I haven't seen this in over a year at this point.
Yeah. As you
Odd.
look around, there are 4 guards positioned at the 4 corners of this gazebo. They look at you with no expression on their face. They seem to have been waiting for you to arrive. You do sense that like you're both sweating profusely. Min's is a little like frazzled. You have like a small splatter of something on the shoulder of your garment.
I'll like look over and like prestidigitate you like clean and like do
I'll
the same with
down
mittens and kind of
fur and just take a moment to compose ourselves.
All right.
Hermina?
Yes.
That was quite interesting. Shall we?
I do believe we shall.
All right. You walk through the open court and are escorted through the gardens. These beautiful gardens that move, shrubberies,
Wow.
the large fountain.
Wow.
Huge.
Huge.
It is quite a large space.
Lordy.
Oh my goodness.
Miria, you take it all in. Kaz is unimpressed because...
I'm like, yeah, I remember these. Oh, I like what they did with their shrubs.
Yeah.
That design is interesting.
I'll just say you guys walk through and kind of pass around the statue. It's a statue of your mother, which you know. She's well beloved in the city, and this is her home. So, of course, she has a statue of herself. And as you pass by, you notice, Demiria, that this depiction is quite beautiful. It's a very pleasant-looking drow woman.
Is that your mom?
Yeah, that's her.
Kaz, you didn't tell me your mom was a MILF.
Moving on.
Moving on. You know that your mom told you to come meet her at the temple. Mm-hmm. So you walk through the gardens, you go around the path around the mansion, taking it in as you go, and you get to the walkway that leads to the main thoroughfare of the upper tier of Kellanora. Demiria, you take in all the sights and sounds of a new city. It's very different from what you're used to. There's plenty of guards here, dozens of them, all in the same uniform of House Daetoris, like a red and purple kind of color scheme. This is the general vibe of our guards as they hang out.
Oh, intense.
Yeah.
Their outfits. And, but they ignore you. They do their job. They expect you, and they do nothing to impede your movement.
I would imagine, honey, that we would need to put Mittens, get Mittens to a stable. You know, we can't be walking around.
He's well trained.
Being seen with
Mittens is like trotting with his nose upturned, looking as prim and proper as possible.
Oh, very prim and proper, kitty.
So this is Kalanora that you now stand in on the top outside the mansion. Looking down, you see like multiple kind of big cliffs that go down to a lower wall far below. You're in the mountains in a kind of like small valley that breaks the two parts of the dark spires apart, and it's well protected and fortified. You stand now at the top part, looking across, seeing the other architecture. It's gently snowing, as it has been for days. You see to the east the Sanctuary of Emergence, where you know that your mother is holding her court. You walk that way across the open pathways. Here there are plenty of drow going about their business, all of them clearly drow, with noble clothing. They give you distinguished nods as you walk past. Lots of subtle staring at Mittens, like clearly out of place, but no one's going to stop you or question you. They'd be very rude. And Mittens is behaving himself, so why would they have a question
Relying
about
on the quite Midwestern false politeness.
Exactly.
Like to not question our giant moorbounder.
So
We should find, I don't know, where would we have, where could we put Mittens
I
as
think he should come with us.
Do you think, is that, were we saying that that's what the deal is, that you two are bonded and you can't, is that part of the story now?
Maybe he's my service moorbounder. I'm
Well, I mean,
blind in one eye.
in Yvatlos warrior culture, I imagine there are, if you were to be bonded to an animal, they're your animal, they're your friend, part of your soul. You don't,
Yes.
you know,
I will
you don't go anywhere without them.
board him for the night. Probably wouldn't. If that.
Okay,
If it
but for
comes to
now
it.
he sticks with us.
I think so. If
Okay.
your mom is like, I don't want that thing around. Sorry, Mittens. We can
Her words.
discuss later, but.
Lady Daetoris' words, not ours, potentially.
all right.
Okay.
Just in case anything goes, awry.
Yeah, I agree.
So you travel across the open pathway.
So
Before we
weird.
get there, Mary's just gonna put his hand on Kaz's shoulder and be like, "Are you okay?"
This is very weird. I've not been back here, and
You immediately find yourself falling back into the familiar patterns. You step solid 3 steps behind Demiria to the side, left side, as is required by proper decorum. Everyone here, it's very familiar, it's very weird, it's almost instinctual. You don't have to think about it, you just do these things, these little mannerisms that are deferential to Demiria because you know this is what should be done.
right.
And Demiria, you're weirded out by it because Kaz is being all weird and like...
I'm like,
It's
Kaz,
just, this is,
next to me.
no, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Remember, drow culture.
Okay, well, I'm gonna follow your lead.
Well, I'm following yours, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'll let you know politely, of course, where we're going.
Okay,
The big sanctuary over there.
got it.
Okay. You enter. The guards open the doors before you. There is a room full of people who are currently in various prayers. They seem to be like kneeling and sitting and in contemplation in like a large antechamber. You would know, Kaz, that like walking through the middle would be very disruptive. You're just going to go around the side and let them do their thing and head to the sort of throne chamber beyond it, where your mother holds court.
Right. I'll like, this way, don't go through the middle.
Okay.
Then just like, you go that way. The guard at the door say, "Halt." Who enters?
Well, it is Thank you, ma'am. It is.
You may
Kaz,
speak.
Right.
Doesn't phase them.
It's Caspiel, son of.
House Daetoris and his new wife, Ermina Shieldwarden, are
Yes.
here to see the Duchess.
Olenita.
The guards, when you see, like, mumble out, like, Haspiel, like, both of them, like, glance at you, like, what? You? But then they stiffen up when you take command of the situation and assert yourself. They nod, one of them goes inside, there's a long pause, and they both swing the doors open. They announce as you step into it. Introducing House Daetoris with his new bride, and what would you say again? Ermina Shieldwarden of Yvatlos. There's no fanfare, but you step into this long hallway. At the far end of it, in the middle of it, you see like kind of the statue of these drow knights on like horses, holding their swords up to the center in this very ornate decorative space. You know that directly beneath that there's this like large flat floor. It retracts, and beneath it is a cave that goes deep into the earth. It is the place where the drow, when they left the Underdark, emerged from the Underdark and like established their first city. This is like the holiest site in drow culture.
The sanctuary of emergence. It makes sense.
Demiria feels a little uneasy.
Yeah.
We're back
Beyond
next to
that,
it.
on the far side of this large like decorative platform, you see your mother sitting in a like ornate throne with more statues around her, looking very prim and proper, and all the way across the room just smiling in your general direction. She looks at both of you. She says, "Welcome. Please, come closer. Let me look upon this new bride of yours, Casper." News is always exciting, isn't it?
We'll
Okay.
follow you. I will follow you up to as close as we should get. Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
So, the throne room, as you now stand in it,
Oh my.
Ooh, I like
is
these
a
six.
large hallway, as I described, filled with kind of purplish light, enchanted sconces filling the room, and your mother sitting across the far end. You can't see it, but you know that there are multiple drow assassins hiding behind every column.
Oh,
it is their job to protect the Duchess and fill their duty.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys do?
I guess we just approach and, as the normal like courtesy, like bow or whatever it is, and us and mittens and hello, mother.
You stand now over the removable floor platform that is the entrance to the Underdark.
I don't like that this is arranged like a battle map.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your mother gets up and looks at both of you. She is gorgeous, like unreasonably so.
No.
Yeah. And I pull her up.
Oh. With a name like Olenita, though, how can you?
Yes, Duchess Olenita.
Yeah.
She smiles at both of you and walks demurely down the stairs to stand in front of both of you. She's about like 4 or 5 inches taller than you, about your height, Demiria. She's quite tall for a drow. And she looks at you both and says, "Welcome, welcome. So good to have you back in your home, Caspiel. I've heard so many wonderful things about your adventures since you left. We always knew you had it in you." And she like pats you on the shoulder and just looks at you, Demiria.
I kind of freeze a little bit, like.
And she looks at you and she's like, Ermina, was it? Of Yvatlos?
Yes, ma'am.
She like begins to walk around you, just eye scanning you top to bottom.
I'm
It's
gonna try to remain
uncomfortable.
unfazed.
She runs one hand gently along your shoulder. She takes in your uniform and your tie or your musculature or whatever. And she says, "I was unaware that my Caspiel had secured such a intimidating bride for himself."
Well, someone needs to keep him in line.
Isn't that the truth? Ah, sweet Caspiel. So rebellious.
Kaz just like, what the f- is going on?
She comes back full circle and, again, with a small smile on her face, says, "Well, I'm glad you came to say hello. I have dinner being prepared as we speak. The finest meal we have finest chefs in the city are being worked on at this moment to deliver food to both of you. It's a reason for celebration. You have returned, Caspiel. I am excited to discuss this at length. For now, I need to resume my obligations here, but thank you for making yourselves known, and looking forward to talking over dinner. I have gifts for you both.
Caspiel, perhaps while we wait, you could give me a tour of the city.
Oh, please do. Your room is still waiting for you, Caspiel.
Thank you, Mother.
If you need it for anything, take as long as you need.
Oh, jeez.
And she smirks and goes back up to the top of the dais.
Yeah.
Okay, that was weird as fuck, dude.
She sits back down and just kind of looks a little bored and waves her hand, and you know that's like, get the fuck out now.
Yeah. Well, honey, shall I give you the tour you requested?
Yes. Let's go now.
All right. You
Kind of gesture, like, go ahead.
you lead the way. Mittens has been sitting off to the side. She ignored Mittens entirely. Did not seem phased or interested really in the cat. You leave, and you walk back out the entrance, back out into the overcast, cold evening. The sun has set by now. It's like 6 p.m. and it's dark. It's middle of winter. Where do you want to take her on a tour before dinner? She's told you like 7:30.
What time's it now?
6. You have an hour and a half.
So, I guess, where do you think we would find your dad? Blacksmith?
He's undercover as a blacksmith.
Let's
So,
lower tier, probably. Lower tier or mid
Yeah,
tier?
that'd be mid tier.
Yeah, so probably the mid tier.
alright.
You're a purveyor of fine weapons, I would imagine,
Yes.
as a warrior.
Of course, I collect them. Did you get weird vibes from your mom?
I had nothing but weird vibes ever since she spoke to me. Last I heard, she cast me out. I was a disgrace. That there's no reason she has to be this.
Nice. You would
not
say
not hostile towards
yes,
me.
as non-aggressively hostile as you'd expect.
I mean,
Yeah.
the standard passive-aggressive tone is there, but that's just being male.
I think we just need to be on guard during dinner.
I don't know if we even eat.
That's true. Poison. Alright.
Do you want to go and wander through the middle tier then? Try and look for your dad?
Trying to look for blacksmiths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Kaz, you lead the way. Well,
Well,
the way.
Yeah.
Yuri leads the way. Mins follows. Mins mumbles under his breath. He's like, Mom didn't seem very nice.
she's not.
In the wild, you sometimes find these snakes that they look pretty calm and not doing anything, but then all of a sudden you hear a little rattling noise and you know you need to run far, far away before something bad happens. You get that vibe.
Me too, Mittens.
Nothing's moving, but you hear the rattling noise. That's what he says.
No, he does have pretty good instincts.
That's.
I
completely agree.
We're gonna go right into the snake's lair. Oh boy.
We're springing the trap, as it were. Well, off this way to the left.
Alright.
Okay. You go down into the town below, wandering through the upper and middle levels. You show her some of the places you like to get food from growing up. And this is like a more nostalgic part of your memories, like away from the mansion, away from the oppressive presence of your mother. There was a time where you and the other drow children got along just fine, and like
Right.
you would hang out and play games and eat local foods, and that part of it you're actually quite fond of, that part of your childhood. And so you take her to those places, and you
Maybe
see
we should get a snack if we're not actually gonna eat dinner.
Pretty hungry.
Some street food.
what would be Kaz's favorite street food?
Like a souvlaki's type thing.
What is that?
You know the big rotisserie meat thing?
Like hero meat?
Yeah, effectively.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yep.
shave it off or something.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that, but not like shaved. It's like chunks instead
Right.
of.
So you go there. A local delicacy is this regional giant scorpion that is known for its delicate
my.
tender flesh. They have one of those things up there with like gray meat on it, but it is in fact scorpion meat. It's a little dangerous to harvest, but like very much it's farmed, and they like it a lot. It's very, very spicy. Local.
Everything here is so dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Even the meat.
1 gold. You both get a.
I'll get one for Mittens too.
Oh, Mittens says thank you. He just wants the meat. He doesn't want the bread that comes in.
Okay. So the meat.
And you continue the tour. You make it over to the artisanal, like, blacksmithing, horse selling, and, the bricklayers guild. All of that's on the eastern side of the city. And you walk through, taking it in. You do see many blacksmiths of all drow ages and genders and colors doing their work here. Some make swords, some do, like, farming equipment, some do... a couple of them are working on larger projects, like these big slabs of metal that you don't know what it is, and you don't recognize it. You see there's been some infrastructure changing here that is a little bit newer than you were here last. You're not sure why.
What kind of infrastructure? Like better bridges? Or
No,
like...
I mean, in the blacksmithing area, there are like, some of the blacksmiths have like consolidated. And so you see like 3 or 4 blacksmiths working on one giant slab of metal together, and like they've like connected their shops and opened up the walls, and they have like more of a bigger industrial space to make these chunks.
These giant sheets of metal. I imagine they're probably for the war effort. Wall plates, defensive plates against, to put on the wall between them and Archelon to pass.
Potentially. Tensions have always been high, but there has been no active war for a decade. It's something that was flared up for a while and then has been quiet for some time.
But maybe the snake is rattling.
Maybe.
Could be.
Did I, when I got the sending from the deaconess, or when I talked to my aunt, do I know if my dad is going under a code name here? Or an alias? Did they tell?
They did not say.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is... as we're walking, of course, I'm keeping an eye out basically for anyone who looks like they have similar features to me. But I'm going to ask Mittens, because he has a really good sense of smell. If he can... I know that we've been in separate environments, but, like, theoretically, if we're genetically related, we should have some similar, like... Biomarkers.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I want Mittens to sniff me and then see if we can, like, if he can pick up anyone that smells like me here.
All right.
That's genius.
Make
He gets advantage.
Yeah, I will do it for Mittens.
Okay.
Mittens will agree to your terms, and with an advantage check on smell, do his best. Token Mittens perception check with advantage. That's an 18 and a 21. Mittens sniffs the air, and you walk as he snuffles along, sniffing here and there, barrels, crates, the open air, and he, after a while, he's like, can't find anything. Well, he doesn't say that because you're in public. He just kind of like looks at you, makes eye contact, and like shakes his head, and then he like perks up his head a little bit and sniffs the air again, and trots off down the thoroughfare, seemingly absorbed in his task. And
I'm walking with him very quickly to make sure.
Trying to keep it under control.
Yeah.
He rounds a corner, and down a back alley is a small smithy that says over the doorway, like, daggers and ends, like as in like ends and bits and ends or whatever, daggers and ends, and he stops at the door, looks up and sniffs, and he looks back at you and like jerks his head towards the door.
Great job.
You hear clanking coming from inside.
All right. Well.
Give Mittens the rest of my
Kebab
thing. Yeah.
Okay. We gotta be.
You're just surveying. You're here.
Yeah.
You're touring.
Okay. I'm gonna go inside.
Okay. You open the door. The clanging doesn't stop, and you see a form in the back of this small, dingy, little, smoky blacksmithery shop, currently hammering away on a dagger. A man hunched over, and he says, "Sorry, we're closed right now. I'm currently finishing up some orders for the effort."
I am going to. So I don't wield it anymore, but I carry my glaive with me still. So I'm going to pull my glaive out.
Mittens is...
And I'm going to say I have a special weapon I need looked at.
The clanging stops and the man stands up and turns around. You see a middling height,
really
muscular
hope this is
man, drow with purplish, blackish skin and hair pulled back, white hair out of his face. He looks at both of you, taking in your appearance and the large moorbounder, and you're holding your Kubiri glaive. He looks at it and kind of squints at it in the darkness, and then his eyes dart up to you, back and forth. He says, I don't think I can fix something like that. I am unfamiliar with its make, and he turns back to
Is there
his
anyone
camera.
else in the shop right now?
No.
I'm going to pull up my sleeve
Mm-hmm.
and say, are you sure?
He pauses, and you watch as he turns around and looks at you with like a little bit of fear in his eyes. His hand kind of reaches back behind his cloak a bit to something out of sight, and he looks up towards you and sees on your forearm multiple tattoos of your tribe, and he stops and he like looks at you directly and he says,
Pull it down very quickly.
come in.
Okay.
Close the door and latch whatever mechanism there is or
Yeah.
whatever. Put the side.
He goes over, looks down the alleyway, closes the blinds, and he says, he turns around to both of you and he says, who are you and how did you get here?
It might be best if that remains a secret for now.
Okay. Are you here to get me out?
Yes.
Yes.
How?
We're still working on that part. We needed to find you first. But
Do you have a sufficient enough space that I could draw a circle?
Certainly, you can clear space on the floor. Why?
Can you hide it until we come back?
Probably.
Do you have a
I have
rug or
rugs.
something?
Well, it's blacksmith, fire hazard. I have stuff. I can put a table on top of it, or chairs.
Well, it's a 10-foot circle.
does he-
For your reference, you can't draw it and then come back later. It has to be draw it and then it happens.
Okay, shit.
So I do think we should come back later because we still need to deal with your mom, of course.
Yeah. I need answers from her. That's half the reason why we're here.
How many of those can you cast in a day?
Per
Yeah,
short
well,
rest, so 3
yeah.
per short rest.
Because
Ridiculous.
of course, for the RP, I want to talk to him and whatnot. But we could just send him to Drakengard. We don't have to go with him necessarily. But that's not as fun. So maybe we should come back later in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah, I think we go have dinner, we chat. You you demand that I get you that
The
nice
scorpion.
dagger that you
Or the
saw
dagger, yes.
at one of the shops, and then we come back and we teleport out tomorrow.
He hears you talking about all this, and he's like, whatever your plan is, do it quick. They've been coming by asking questions recently. I have to keep this under wraps. He reaches up and he rubs on his neck, and you see he smudges away some purple makeup showing the tattoos of your tribe beneath it. He goes over to a table, pulls out another little bit of pigment or whatever, rubs it back on to cover it up. He says, if they take me in for questioning, there's no way that they won't see this. After that, I don't know what'll happen next.
When do they come by?
They've been coming by daily, asking questions to everyone in the local block, looking for answers. Anyone who has knowledge of that, don't show that. And he points at your glaive that you're holding. That make, that the Kubiri make, is of great interest to the Duchess and her people right now. I don't know that this traveling blacksmith woman, elven woman from across the mountains, came in. She was selling some of her wares that she'd learned how to make. The methodology was odd. She wouldn't say where she got it, but they took her in for questioning. They accused her of blaspheming the Duchess, even though it's clearly not true. I don't know what they want from her or why they were interested in what she was selling, but if people see that make of weapon on you or those tattoos, they'll be held to pay. All I can guarantee is that.
Maria looks a little sheepish and is like, yes, perhaps. I don't know what we should do with it. We need to hide it.
We could store it here such that, when we
That's
offload.
safe.
Sometimes they search. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Is there a hiding place in your... You must have hid somewhere when you were a kid. In your room?
If we could get there and offload Mittens' stuff, I guess, would Mittens sleep in the same room with us, or would he go to a... I imagine, if you...
If you explain that he is a house cat, then maybe he'd sleep in the room with you.
Right.
I think we just got lucky that she didn't notice it earlier. I think she was a little more focused on other things.
It was like wrapped up and put away.
Wrapped up in mittens as like packs, I imagine. I mean, we can keep it that way until we get in, and I only imagine we'll be here for tonight. I don't even know if they search, first thing in the morning or midday every day. I don't imagine that they'd be able to do that again, because again, tomorrow morning, first thing we do, come back here and I can teleport us out.
Alright, I think in the meantime, perhaps while we are with your mother, we should try to get some information on why she's so interested. Whether directly or indirectly.
I suppose, yeah, we can try that.
So...
Both of you make perception checks.
20?
22.
As you're all talking, Kaz, you kind of glance out towards the shuttered windows. You see something moves across the shutter that blocks the light momentarily. It's something, maybe someone, who knows.
I'll nudge Demirian and be change the subject effectively.
Anyways, I was hoping you could sharpen these for me, and I pull out 2 of the kunai.
Take the thing and start to wrap it back up.
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check as the door opens. And in steps a hooded drow with sheath weapons. You recognize it as one of your mother's private guard.
Sleight of hand is 18 plus 1 for 19.
19. As you rapidly cover this incriminating object and you hand out the kunai, he takes it from you, looking deferentially, and he says, "Certainly, mistress, I will look into it." The guard steps in, a woman drow, and she looks around at all of you suspiciously and says, "Your mother insisted I keep watch, and some of these local businesses are a bit more..." And she kind of glares at your dad and sneers a bit, less reputable than others.
I understand. My daggers were a little dull, and this place is called Daggers and Ends after all. Kaz did mention that there could be more reputable blacksmiths around the corner, but, he doesn't really get a say.
Make a deception check with advantage. It is called Daggers and Ends. That's a completely logical place to bring your daggers for sharpening.
Advantage, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
And I'm doing deception.
Yeah.
I have a +0. So.
12. The guard looks back and forth between the two of you and says, "Very well. Just be careful."
Before she while she's leaving,
yeah,
because I want to try to cover this up as much as possible, I turn back to my dad and say, I'll be back in the morning. I want these sharp enough to cut a man from across the room."
He says, "Of course, I will work through the night to see it done. Thank you for your business."
Sweating profusely.
Yeah. He deferentially walks away and literally takes them straight to the grinder, starts turning the wheel and sharpening them as you leave.
Okay.
Does not look back at you.
And then I turn to Kaz. Let's go.
Yes, it's almost dinner time. We shouldn't be late.
Would you mind escorting us back to the palace? Or not the palace, the mansion, whatever.
I have escorted you the whole way, and will escort you back. You just won't see me. They step out into the alleyway and step into the shadows in the alleyway, and you blink and they're gone.
All right. Well.
Wait.
I really wish we had Sir's modifying memory right about now.
You know Celestial, right?
I do know Celestial.
I will tell you in Celestial, no more common. It's too dangerous.
Man just perks up and is like, code language, I don't know.
As we've been here, have we been speaking in common or undercommon?
Undercommon would be the standard, dialect here.
My dialect probably also would have given me away to my dad then.
If you were to, to be more... Because there's definitely, accents, and you have had enough of an accent to...
Sorry.
be noticeable, but this whole time I think you've been masking it the best you can.
Christine said Grace is having way too much fun being the boss, and I'm having a lot of fun.
It's true. Okay.
All right. We're this way, milady.
You walk, and as you walk through the thoroughfare, ignoring the commoners around you, even though you don't know they're there, you get the sense that you're being watched and guarded for your own protection.
Of course.
You make your way back up the main road to the top tier, heading to the manse. As you approach, you hear the gentle rushing of the waterfall that you used to go hide behind as a kid, and just take all that in. There's a surge of memories and nostalgia for a part of the parts of your youth that were very safe and fun. You enter in through the main doorway into the dinner hall, the front hall.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, ornate marble everything, statues of powerful-looking drow women in like battle garb, the traditional dress of like the nobility and the higher-ranking knights of the Reznor Dominion is all like battle dresses, so like capes, pauldrons, armor, but like much more free-flowing and more pleasing to look at than like full plate mail. So you step into that space, and you are led by one of the local butlers. You recognize a older male drow that you used to like help you out and like wash your clothes, do things like that. He walks over and bows, and with like no change in expression, he's like, "Welcome back, Master Caspiel. Shall we go to dinner?"
I'll like look towards.
Yes.
Hermia.
He addressed you first, which was definitely like a faux pas, but it was that's as much of a gesture as you could expect to get to like not breach decorum any more than that. It was like, that's the friendliest hello you've gotten since you got back here.
Right.
And he says, of course, and he leads the way, showing you up the stairs. You go up the stairs, a large spiral staircase in the center of this hall, more like fountains and decorative paintings. You walk along a hall of the previous, there's large like floor-to-ceiling paintings of the previous drow duchesses and the lineage that you are descended from, all the way back, starting at the first one, going back hundreds of years. They're all beautiful, powerful, strange in their like different garbs and hairstyles. They're all, exotic AF. It's like Marie Antoinette if they're all Marie Antoinette, like extra. And the last one is your mother, all similarly, regal in her depiction. There's a little bit of like not touch-ups or like Photoshop, but like more liberties taken to make the depiction as like perfect as possible.
Right.
And you step through that last doorway into a dining hall. At the far end is a roaring fireplace, warm and inviting. A long table, probably 30 feet long, with dozens of chairs along it, has been set out. On the very far end, in front of the fireplace, is your mother, seated, waiting. And she says, "Welcome." She stands up. "Please take a seat either side in the middle. We love to have our guests have access to all the foods that you can reach. Please." She gestures. Demiria, go for the left, and Kaz, you're like, "Shit, no, you always sit on the right." And you like make a performance check to guide Demiria without being overt about it to where she needs to sit. Because you're supposed to know exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. And Kaz is just supposed to follow.
Oh no.
Am I making a performance check too?
Yeah, to mask it. That or deception, your pick.
Well, both are +0, so can I persuade that I know what I'm doing?
Sure, we'll allow persuasion.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
9
9
for performance.
So as you
17.
turn 17, you go to the left and you kind of rush forward. You're like, no, go to the right. You kind of like bump into her gently and push her off to the right. You have been trying to you've gotten used to like trying to interpret his subtle direction from behind, and you're just like, yep, going this way, and you go over to that side. You go to the other side.
Yeah.
Your mother is watching both of you, just like smiling, watching as you walk over. No expression change or sign that she saw anything, but you know she saw everything that just happened. And she's just taking it all in. You sit down.
I'm going to gesture Mins to sit under my feet at the table.
She says,
Mittens.
you do that. Mittens is like kind of shrugs underneath and like has to scuttle a bit. The table's like, poof.
I didn't know how low the table was. I guess if it was feasible.
Like
Otherwise,
It's fine. You can.
next to
Yeah.
him, next to you or something.
She says, oh, that's a beautiful animal. What's his name?
This is my bristled moor bounder.
Is that locally available in Yvatlos? I've only been there a few times. I haven't seen such a beast before.
Oh, he's imported from the north.
Oh.
They're native to the area just north of the Darkspires.
Well, very good. I assume he's well trained.
Of course.
Is he part of just a pet or more?
He is my companion in battle.
Very good.
I carry him with me at all times for protection.
Wise. Wise. What?
Basically, I'm implying that he's here with me now for protection too. 'Cause I don't
I
trust
see.
her.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh no!
Sorry.
I need some water.
I have double proficiency with intimidation.
Oh wow! Expertise.
Yeah.
You're so cute, Noodle. I can't stand
19.
19.
Why is Noodle so cute?
He is the most precious. I don't know if people on the stream can see that there are
It
two
just
cats.
calms out.
One on the chair and one on Josh. He's been there this whole time, hasn't he? For
I
like
sat down,
2 hours.
crawled up onto me, and was just like, "Here's good."
She says to you, "Oh, there's no need to be worried. It's this mansion is very safe. Our city of Kalanora is one of the best defended in the entire Resmer Dominion. So, be at ease." Basically, just like disregarding your comment.
Okay.
But again,
Yeah.
this is all it's all
This is
surface.
all like
a
It's all superficial.
mind game, yeah.
She says, before dinner, let's make sure everyone is here. Can you bring in the rest? They're in the waiting room. There's a long pause, and the butler goes out to the side, opens the side door, and in walks your brother and your sister. They both
My
stride
hair is
in.
standing on the back of my neck right now.
Yuminar avoids looking at you, and he walks around the table behind your mother, taking his proper seat. He sits down and kind of just like looks at the table stiffly. You see on his face a good number of scars that weren't there before from his imprisonment and possible maybe torture / interrogation at the hands of the Archelon hobgoblins. Sitting down opposite him and glaring at you unerringly, eyes wide, just like fuming. Your sister Indra, who as she sits there, reaches over and grabs the knife and just like holds it and just starts like gently like stroking the edge with her thumb. You watch as she's like staring at you, not saying anything. What are you doing, Kaz?
I kind of like feel bad for my brother because, like, torture's not cool no matter what side you're on. But like, I'm not gonna even acknowledge Indra. I'm not even gonna look at her. Kind of like look at my brother and be like, I wish it didn't have to be this way. And just, she doesn't exist. I mean, it wouldn't be proper for me to look her in the eye, as that's not appropriate. So
Yeah, right. She says nothing, and your mother is like, so lovely to have the family back in one room together again. It's been so many months since you've been back, Kaz. We're happy to have you here, aren't we? Both of you, my darlings. And she like looks at them a little more forcefully. Yuminor just kind of grunts and like staring at the table. Indra says like, I can't wait to have a conversation with you, Caspiel. Maybe we could take a walk after dinner. How's that sound?
I would be honored. Like, I can't say no, because again, that would be rude.
I believe that's a wonderful idea. I would love to get to know the rest of your family.
Indra looks at you the first time.
I look at her right back.
And she's like, okay. Not bad, Caspiel. But, looks back to you. You can do better. The name's Indra. She, like, reaches across the table to... She's much more, like, brusque and, like, less formal and demure than the mom. She's more, like, tomboy-esque. And she shakes your hand. You do, too. She She says, "So you're the military type. Where'd you train under?"
I come from a family of warriors, the Shield Warden.
Yeah. What house of the military branch of the academy in Yvatlo? So where'd you actually train? Like who taught you your style? And what style do you fight it with?
Would Kaz have briefed me on any other military stuff as we were making my backstory to be from the military?
Kaz, make a history check. This will determine how much he knows about it to even tell you about it. Because you've never been there yourself. You've just read about it.
I would know military branches in general in the Reznor. History?
Yeah.
19.
Roll again. Bad luck. Using it now.
What? I thought the bad luck was the teleportation.
Oh no, that was general bad luck.
No!
You rolled poorly. Now roll with disadvantage because I'm making you, just because.
Just because.
As you say this, as you're as she's asking this questions, the eyes flash.
18.
18.
A 12 and an 18 plus 6.
Alright. So, this is an entire session bad luck kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
You
Oh no.
heard of several things. He did brief you the best he could. He told you a lot. You don't know exactly how to answer her question, but you know enough to be able to try. So,
I'm gonna try my hardest to BS.
deception check. What do you say?
Well, I would name one of the first place I can think of that you told me.
I don't know, yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'll say I trained,
You had a personal instructor from the Shield Warden house always...
I possess certain skills and abilities that made my services very desirable for private hire. And I actually trained just off the coast of Yvatlos, a little training camp. You probably haven't heard of it.
Deception
My
check.
fighting style is mounted, of course. Gesturing to mittens.
And do you have your halberd nearby?
I don't know that I would have brought it to dinner.
It might have been on mittens, packs, right?
Yeah, either it's on mittens or you could have left it at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah.
And then you would have, I would assume you have your sword, at your side.
It's
formal.
I'm just, informal attire, so yeah.
Okay. Deception check. Standard deception check. No bonuses or otherwise.
Oh, Noodle's hey, you had a lap there?
You guys don't have inspiration
I
and
know.
Zephyr's Astromancy Archive and random
Right.
bullshit to just make everything work. Oh, Kitty has changed its position.
Oh.
Nat 20!
Fuck.
Yes!
Timing. You are resisting the bad luck so hard right now.
To be fair, it's Kaz's bad luck, not mine. I already had my bad luck.
Okay. You say this with a straight face to Indra. She looks a little confused, but she's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Never got a private instructor." She kind of glances at her mom like, "Why didn't I get a private instructor?" I'll wait for Josh to come back. Nat 20.
Nat 20, just when I needed it the most.
Yeah, that's an 18, a 19, and a 20, in terms of the general rolls.
Ugh, needed that.
Needed to get through these lies.
I'm in the Yvatlos Secret Service.
You don't say that, but you insinuate that maybe there's more of it to it than she would know.
She doesn't
and
know everything.
It's intriguing, and she's interested now.
Yes, I like that. My instructor passed away in a tragic accident. We don't speak.
We have to.
Do you want a beer?
Yeah, take one.
Would you like a beer?
Oh, please.
So she rolled a nat 20
Oh, wow.
on her deception check.
Beautiful.
Plus 0, right?
Yeah.
And your sister is actually kind of impressed and a little jealous that she had some kind of private tutelage in Yvatlos. She didn't get private tutelage. Her military instruction was along with everyone else. And she's a little salty about that. Your mother said, "Well, enough with the niceties. I'm sure you're all very hungry after your educational walk around town. I heard it was a safe little trip for you, right? You visited the Daggers and Ends and a couple other
Yes.
places."
I got to taste some of the delicious local delicacies. That scorpion has quite a kick to it.
Oh yes, personal local favorite for sure.
And
I
then
find it a bit
noticed
too
that
strong.
The small daggers and ends shop. My daggers needed sharpening, so what better place?
Do you use them often?
Only when I need to.
The roads are very dangerous.
We did encounter some creatures on our way here.
Things
I did have to use them, though.
Just block the labels.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's good Kool-Aid. So you guys say all this.
Demonetized.
Your mother rings a little bell casually, and streaming in there are like a dozen other servants, all male, who bring along these trays and plates of delightful food. They dump it all on the table, and in front of you, all around you, is a exquisite, expensive feast. Probably just from like, you would know, you've done like the calculations and these kind of things before.
Right.
This is probably easily like 80 gold worth of quality food right in front of you.
It's as expensive as my outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
She's like, dig in, pick whatever you like. I'm curious to see what you think of the other dishes local, and there's many other different kinds of foods, rare, spiced meats, and like chopped vegetables. You get the sense as you're like looking at all this food, your brother and sister immediately start eating with like normal like attention. Your mom begins ladling herself like small little portions of everything. She is like glancing around nicely enough, but she is watching both of you, seeing how this pans out.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
hate
salad
this.
before soup.
What's the
Soup
name
before
for this?
main course.
So you know what to do, Kaz. You know
Very
proper.
passive aggressive. Ooh, okay.
I will I will use do my what's a good term for this? Marital duties as the male in the relationship, and I will serve
That's a very good
food,
point.
the correct order of things,
So,
and then hand the correct fork or whatever that I need.
So as you were waiting, panicking internally about what to do and what to do first, you're like, oh shit, she doesn't know. Also, what should I be doing? Right. This is my duty to serve her. The rest of the people in the room are unmarried and serve themselves, but you know it's proper, and you pull that out at the moment and proceed correctly. Your mother like sniffs approvingly and looks back down at her dish and continues eating. It's great food if you eat it.
I would try to do food that has already had some taken off of it because that's like safe, as well as things that like probably can't be like poisoned or like drugged, like steer clear of like the wine or something like that, and do like vegetables and meat that's already been taken.
Sure. It's cautious, but you can serve yourself easily enough from the food the plates that your brother and sister are taking. What is Zarut doing? Where is Zarut?
Oh boy.
Remember, you can like banish him and summon him whenever you want.
I guess yeah, no, I would have put him in a pocket dimension before we walked into the place.
Sounds good.
I don't think that wouldn't go over well.
No, that would not go well at all. So you eat. It's great. It's delicious. You quietly, in like a very tense general silence, just eat your meal. You watch as your mother takes like a bite from like 3 different dishes and then like pushes it to the side, pours herself a glass of wine and just starts like drinking it and smiling patiently at everyone else to finish their meal. So she asks halfway through the meal, so I'm just dying to hear about your travels, Caspiel. We've heard many tales of this Greymoor gang, and are you the one they speak of, the one with the Moorbounder?
My eyes dart over to Kaz.
I'll like very like approvingly and like good like
Yes. That's me. I've been taking a leave of absence. Traveling.
Very good.
Met Kaz.
I heard that there was some kind of warlord up there, the Ox or something, and you defeated him in seen combat?
Did you say you've seen combat?
You defeated him in single combat or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay to brag, darling. I'm curious. I want to know.
Yes.
I believe
Go on.
it was,
You can tell them. You can
I
tell
believe
them
it was Ermina here who struck the final blow.
Not surprising. But just the fact that you were present and contributing to this is a feat in and of itself. You should be proud. We're proud of you, Caspio.
Oh, you should be.
I'm
He's
like,
actually quite skilled in battle.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yuminar, as you say that, kind of like perks up and like looks over at you, looks back at you, and he says, "Not that I remember."
It's been a long time.
Hmm.
He's trained.
Trained, eh? He goes back to his meal. Indra kind of scoffs, and she's like, "Well, maybe he can swing a sword, but he can't do shit with a wand or anything else for that matter."
I wouldn't say that.
As you say this, Indra's like got like a fork full of food going up to her mouth. She stops and like looks over at you. And like looks back at Kaz, shrugs, assumes it's an innuendo, and then presumes eating.
I did not mean that to be an innuendo, but it worked out really well. Actually.
It goes down easier if it's an innuendo versus the truth. Your mother says, "No worries, Caspiel. Some of your past choices may have been more frowned upon by the decorum of our city, but bygones are bygones. You've done well for yourself. I put you on this path hoping that you'd make something of yourself, and look at you. You had more ambition than I thought you would have. I just put you out in the world, put you on your own, and you really proved yourself. It's very obvious that was the right call at that time."
The part of Kaz that still believes that that's possible actually believes her, I think, and is like, "What? Like that was your plan?" Like,
right.
Internal gears like, "Oh, that makes sense."
It does make sense. Demiria, for you, you're like, that sounds like horseshit. Because, he got banished hardcore and like excommunicated and told to never return for doing something that was very taboo in this society. And the fact that she's like praising him and telling him that like that was definitely her plan was to have him make something of himself in return, triumphant. It feels a little weird. And she continues on being like, "Well, like I said, I knew that you'd make something of yourself. You always had it in you. You just needed the right push to get out there and try out the world, try out some different things. And I think you've really proven yourself. Definitely shown a lot of ambition." And as you say that, or as she says that, you feel the sword at your side like tremble a bit on your hip as its name is stated aloud.
That's never happened before. Again, kind of like, is this real? Does she mean that? Like, it could make sense.
Can I make an insight check to see?
Sure.
Not that I would be able to tell.
I need a way to have Demiria ask about the other side of my family, so that I can get brought up. Maybe I can use a mind trick. One of the two mind trick features I get to like implant a sound in Demiria's head in my voice of like, "Ask father."
Okay, do I hear it?
Yeah, I'll say you kind of fix your eyes on Demiria for a minute, and with your psychic ability that you gained, you were able to minor illusion in her head, basically.
Right.
And only she can hear it.
Right.
Ask father.
So, Duchess, and I'll turn to her. I'm acting like this is a completely normal thing to ask. I'm glad that your family seems to be approving of me. However, I have not brought Kaz back to mine yet, and part of my concern is, as you know, pedigree is very important. I was wondering what I should tell them when they ask where Kaz's father is from.
Jesus.
Kaz is like, oh, too thick, too thick.
Oh, too heavy. Oh, that was too direct. She's like trying to take a sip of wine, and
we can also discuss this privately later if you'd prefer.
You watch as she like spits it back up a little bit, and she like puts it down daintily and dabs at her lips. Both Yuminar and Indra are like, like, this is, oh boy, like that's a big no. She kind of like looks up and she looks at Kaz and says, well, never discussed it. To be true, I don't really know. It was an accident, shall we say. You know how these things go.
Oh, of course.
Sometimes things just happen, and I thought, why not?
I see. Oh, I can't ask any more questions without being really rude.
Yeah. Kaz, you would know, it's not exactly like a full secret that your mother would regularly have like wild parties with lots of people involved. There's a good chance she has no idea who your dad is.
Oh.
Well, of course, I understand. Perhaps...
I'll, like, serve you the second course of the meal and,
I'll, like, take a big forkful of
Yeah, just keep eating. She says,
Just thought I'd ask.
Anyway, enough about Kaz, more about you. This new bride. What did you see in my young Kaz, my boy, that really drew you to him and felt like he would be a good asset for you?
Well, there is, of course, his status. I know he was exiled, but he is a member of the family of Kalanora.
She says, oh, exile. It's ancient history at this point, but go on.
I am an ambitious woman, as I see you are as well. I would like to make my way in the world. And outside of that, and Demiria will, like, get soft for a moment, he did save my life. Several times.
Wow.
Kaz, like, frantically trying to remember.
Explain to me, how did he do such a thing? What daring adventures have you gone on together?
Oh, many adventures. We were in the Midlands for a while, and, just kind of wandering from place to place, trying to help people where we could, defeat monsters, that kind of thing. We got into a situation where we were being shot at. And Kaz dove in front and took a ballista for me.
An entire ballista? Wow. Where?
It was in somewhere between Arkelon and Roxton.
Okay. Just a check. And Yuna looks over at you like, all right. Damn, that's pretty hardcore.
Kaz will, like, kind of grab his stomach where he actually took a ballista bolt and was like, oh yeah, that wasn't fun.
Yuminar leans over and kind of mutters, like, you'll have to show me that later. He's still a little stiff towards you, but he's loosening up a little bit with time. Would you roll?
5.
She smiles, as always. You know that she doesn't believe you, but you're not certain what part she doesn't believe.
He has the scars to prove it.
He has many interesting things on his body.
That's so rude.
Dubious. Anyway, well, I'm quite full. I had a filling meal. She ate probably 5 cents worth of this 80 gold meal. And she said, I was hoping that I could offer you both some gifts. Maybe take a small tour of the mansion. Indra and Yuminar are welcome to come along as well. It's always good, proper, polite to help a guest get a tour, right? Indra?
I would love to see where Kaz grew up.
Yes. Indra pipes up, looks over at you, Kaz, and says, I'm sure he has all kinds of great memories. Do you remember that time when we were running around as kids and you were trying to ride one of the horses, and you remember exactly what the story's about. You were like trying to like groom a horse just to be helpful, and she like snuck up behind you and like scared it and like kicked you in the side and like broke a rib, and she laughed at you for like hours. Just remember that, Caspiel.
How could I forget?
Good times.
Amazing
good,
memories.
Good times. Cheers to that. And she like takes a sip.
Kaz is like.
You wrap up the meal, dinner is complete, and the Duchess stands up and says, yes, let's take a little walk around. I'll show you the armory, and we can go visit your room, and I'll show you the view of the city. We can discuss all sorts of things.
I am so terrified. Yes, that sounds lovely. The dinner was delicious.
Yes, excellent. Is it all right if I approach your creature?
Yes.
Mittens is sitting there, his eyes again like crossed, like out of focus. Like he's trying to be like a dumb pet at this point. He's
And I'm just gonna have like a hand on the back of his neck, basically.
Yeah. She walks over and she like leans over. She says, "Oh, what a beautiful creature! How majestic!" And she like reaches out and taps him on the nose.
I'm gonna like, because my hand is on the back of his neck, I'm just gonna like grab his scruff and just.
Mittens, he like twitches. What eye twitches a little bit, and she's like tapping on him. You know, he like doesn't like being touched by strangers.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Meow." She's like, "Wow, what a smart and intelligent animal. Well, what a good boy. He'll walk with us." And she walks off, and you see Mittens like, "Look at you."
I owe you.
You get up. Indra gets up and saunters off confidently after. Yuminar just kind of defers to you and to Kaz, gesturing you to go ahead. And you follow your mother on a tour of the mansion.
This place that I remember.
Yes, you know every inch of it with great recollection. Again, good and bad memories. Some of them wholesome and normal. Some of them being bullied by your sister, and like a lot of decent and good positive memories with Yuminar, but some are more negative than others. You walk through the halls, and she takes you down to the first floor to the armory, which you were never allowed into, but you could always like look into, and you always looked at the long swords in there and wished you had your own growing up and trained with the wooden ones and the battle master over time. You sweep through there, and she's like, "Oh, we have this wonderful collection of Zhranya armory." You see like a bunch of rifles on the wall of like different collections, and she says, "And here we have a very delicate set of poison needles from Crystalia, as a friend of a friend," and just like keeps going. You see like all these horrible like stilettos that like are obviously coated in some kind of iridescent poison. Just like there's a lot of crazy shit in here. She walks over and she turns back towards you and says, "What was it that was your specialty again?"
Yes, mounted polearm. Weaponry.
Very well. As a nuptial gift, I would like to offer you a selection. Pick what you like from the selection we have here. And she just gestures the whole armor.
Very generous of you. Are there polearms?
Yeah. You look around. On the far wall, there is 2 polearms up on like a mounted X. You see a spear that has wicked-looking edge on it, and it's made out of like robust metal. Let me think. So the spear, it looks normal enough, but you recognize that the metallurgy of the head, the warhead or whatever, is clearly Kubiri make. It doesn't match your glaive, but it's a spear that was made in the same style.
Like I would recognize it.
You
I grew
recognize
up
it.
watching my uncle forge things.
Right. So he didn't make it, but like someone who knows your style did. And it's up there on one side. On the other side is a wicked-looking sort of glaive. It's like a 2-sided glaive or a spear, and you inspect them both. She walks over and says, "Which one would you prefer? This one is a magical weapon. It's used by a captain of my guard many years ago, and it's been since retired, and I don't have need of it. You're welcome to take it. This one is a recent acquisition from a traveling blacksmith. Is a very curious make. Have you ever seen anything quite like this?" She like looks straight into your eyes.
Oh, fuck.
You know, I don't believe I have. It doesn't look that different to me. You said the difference was subtle.
Deception check.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god, I missed Sir. I want inspiration.
Should have picked the proficiency in deception for this.
What is that?
Oh, my proficiency is in persuasion right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 3.
3. You say that.
Oh.
She looks at you and she just smiles. Very good. Well, pick which one you'd like.
You said this one's magical? Gesturing to the other one.
Yes, finally magical.
Do you mind if I, take them both down, hold them?
Sure.
How do you feel?
Certainly. She steps back and gives you room, and you pull them both off the wall and give them the heft. They're both fine weapons. Mechanically speaking, one's a +2 glaive. The other one is a +2 spear. The Kabiri one's the spear. The other one is the Reznor make.
Okay. I'm going to pick the Reznor one.
Okay.
And this is both because it's a glaive, and I want
Yeah.
to continue with the glaive. And second, because Demiria, knowing what she knows, probably suspects, that's dope,
Wicked looking.
that this was made by the imposter who potentially stole from
Right.
the tribes. And she does not want to wield something that was not true Kabiri
Actually,
make.
it's a mediocre replication of
Exactly.
your methods.
Holding this one, hefting it, this is exquisite. It's so balanced, and this tip will be excellent in battle.
I'm sure it will serve you well. May it take you many places and keep my cast safe.
Of course.
Oh my.
Sweet. +2?
It is a siphon spear. Requires
Siphon
attunement
spear.
if you wish to add that to your inventory.
Oh my.
I do wish to add that to my inventory.
Ooh my. Second spear. Sounds like you make an attack and something makes a con save and you get some health.
Correct.
Siphon glaive +2.
Siphon glaive, yes.
Super cool. Oh man, +2. It contains 2 charges. After hitting a creature with a melee attack, you can expend a charge to deal an additional 3d6 necrotic damage, healing yourself for half the damage dealt in this way.
Not even a con save, it just happens. Nice.
All right.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty dope. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm into that. For sure.
Your enthusiasm is genuine, and she can see that as well. She seems pleased with the outcome. She says, very well. Caspiel, we have a gift for you as well, but it's back up at your room. Would you like to check that out now?
Kaz is like, oh, fuck,
We can
that's not good.
call things for the night. I'm getting a little tired. I've been busy all day.
Oh, certainly, Mother.
Of course.
Of course.
Indra, Yunar, don't want to impose on their bedtime rituals, whatever they are. So, off with you. We'll see you both in the morning.
Turn to Indra. Did you want to take a walk?
Oh, sure. Sounds fun. Kaz, you coming?
If you have me.
Demia's like, yes, please. I don't want to go anywhere with your sister alone.
All right. Yunar just sort of like, again, avoiding eye contact, bows his head and dips out and leaves. Your mother says, oh, certainly take a walk. I'll meet you back up at your room in, say, 15 minutes. Play nice, Indra. And she walks off. Indra says, oh, I would never dream of anything else than playing nice. So, where do you want to go?
Well, we didn't get to see very much of the courtyard. We just kind of landed there.
Yeah,
and walked
sure, let's
straight
go there.
through.
That seems good. You
Like
walk out.
gripping the spear.
Yeah, so you have to attune to it before you can use
I
its
know.
abilities property. But
Well, I can't use its magical abilities, but it's still a +2 spear, right? Or
that's true. It's just a normal
glaive.
glaive. Until you're attuned, it doesn't get a magical bonus. So,
that's fine. It can still cut
yeah,
things
it works.
if it needs to.
You head over to the courtyard, back to that space, looking upon. Oh, kitty, I'm sorry to disturb you, but my knee hurts. I need you to go on the ground. Okay, go back to Joshua. Stretchy. You walk back out to the courtyard. You see the fountain of Kaz's mom, looking beautiful as always, and Indra, kind of like ignoring it, just sits down on the side, leans back, and looks at the night sky. She's like, so, how much of all that's bullshit, huh?
Just like staring her right in the eye. And, like, gesturing to Kaz, like, you can probably speak freely now.
Whatever.
You shut your mouth.
Oh, okay.
She says, like, I'm going to respect Mom's wishes and not fuck you up right now. But I'm talking to her. So, how much of all that was bullshit?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just staring you back.
I'm staring at her right
Intimidation
back.
check.
Oh, fuck.
And I get
Kaz
Miz
is like,
to stare at her, too. Oh. 23.
23. She doesn't back down at all, but she maintains eye contact. She kind of like slowly just takes a measure of you. She's like, I would like to know. But if you don't want to tell me, that's your purview.
Why should I tell you?
I don't know.
You gonna go run to mommy?
Oh, fuck. You see that, like, that strikes a nerve. She looks at you and narrows her eyes a bit, and she, like, cracks her neck, and she's like...
Kaz is screaming internally.
She's like... she says, I don't need to. So, while you're in town, you know, free to walk around, it was fun seeing Kaz again. It'll be even more fun to beat him to a pulp for what he did to us back in Archelon. And to your brother, Humnar deserves better. Go fuck yourself. For you, I don't know what it is you want with my brother, and I presume its status. I thought your name was something else. Wasn't it like Drogar or something? Something primitive sounding?
Ermina.
Hmm.
Don't forget it.
Not about to. She gets up. She says, well, whatever the case may be, you'll never be in Mother's good graces as much as myself or Humnar. Whatever she may say to you, Kaz, or you, Ermina, it's just a courtesy for now. No one's forgotten what you did, Kaz. No one's forgotten what you are, which is a traitor.
That destroys Kaz.
When I
This is
see
nothing
you...
less than you deserve.
You don't say that, right?
Maybe I do.
What do you? Tell me.
From what Kaz has told me. Talking about traitors to family. He's your brother.
Half brother.
From what I've heard, he's also your half-brother.
Yeah, but he's like cool. Anyway, I have shit I want to do. If I see you out and about, not under Mother's protection, or on something that she's asking you to do, I may kill you, just so you're aware. Same goes for you.
I'd like to see you try.
Yeah. I'd like to see
I promise you,
try
we
as well.
don't want to stick around here any longer than we have to.
That's fair. It kind of sucks. It's super boring. Anyway, well, hopefully we never see each other again, especially you. But if we do, you know, see how things go next time.
Kaz is going to pipe up a little bit. Because, again, feeling like, oh, maybe Mom doesn't actually hate me still, and having Andrew just, like, crush that a lot.
That's what she does.
Kaz is not starting not to believe Mom's story anymore. And what's your problem, Indra?
What's your problem, huh?
Yeah, exactly. What's your
What's
problem?
your deal? What do you want? She just looks at you and she's like,
I've done nothing to you. Ever.
you exist. It's enough of a problem. And she turns, starts to walk away, and as she just says, there are rules, Kaz. You represent everything that is wrong with this place. You don't follow the rules, you shouldn't exist. You break the most sacred basis of our society, I can't respect that. I don't care what you did outside on your own, how many people you saved, good for you, whoop-de-doo, but...
This started long before that. You've never liked me.
That's true. I've never liked you. But it's because of what you are. Which is...
And what is that?
Not good enough. And she walks off.
Damn!
Yeah, it's harsh. But that tracks. Like, you get the sense that her general hatred of you is primarily that she has to, like, be associated with you at all. Because you are, like, the sort of the shame of the like, royal, family. You shouldn't exist. You're a half-breed. You're a lesser status. And it's, like, from a young age, she's been, like, a high-achieving, wanting to, rise the ranks, follow your mother's footsteps in Drow society, and she feels held back by your mere existence and her relationship to you. So that was just a starting point, and then she just became a bully after that.
Right.
And so, like, it's relatively simple, but, literally decades of that will make a much more complicated and nuanced hatred. And it's a racial hatred, it's a, cultural hatred, it's very deep-rooted in who she is. Umanar never had that towards you. He wasn't really mean to you, he was just kind of neutral towards you. He was two half-brothers or whatever.
Right.
He did what he could, and he was normal towards you. Your mom was mostly just ignored you, and pretended like you didn't exist, but your sister actively hated you.
Right.
Took it all of her angst on you.
Kaz, are you sure we can't just kill her right now?
Not here.
This encounter is completed. You're alone with Mittens. Mittens mumbles out in common, and he's like, wow, I didn't understand any of that, but also, she hates you. She likes you.
Oh, does she know?
Yeah, I can smell it. Pheromones are in the air. It's weird.
The sexual tension between two people that want to kill each other.
It's palpable.
Oh, we need to leave.
I guess we need to go see your mom, but I don't even think we should sleep, man. I'm not convinced that she's not gonna come kill you in the middle of the night.
At this point, neither am I.
Mittens and I can take turns watching. Okay, let's get this over with.
Okay. You go back inside and head up to your childhood room, a third floor looking out over the city, great view, and outside, sitting on a small chair and like reading a book, is your mom. She's changed out of her formal regalia into like a nightgown. It is excessively revealing, very deep, plunging neckline and like thinly veiled, silken, dark red velvet type thing. She stands up, she's like, hello, welcome. She looks great, but it's also weird because it's Kaz's mom.
Like, no wonder Kaz has mommy issues. I don't say that out loud. I just think it.
I'm just processing that. She says, your room awaits you, Kaz darling. I wanted to show you your gift as well. And she opens the door and leads in. It's a wonderful 4-post bed, and folded up on the base of the bed, is a perfectly brand new, crisp Reznor outfit that you recognize the station as that of ambassador. It is a very uncommon garb. It is only given to those distinct drow that are allowed to travel freely to other cities or other parts of the world and represent the Reznor, seeking alliances, seeking trade opportunities and whatnot. She goes over and sits in the bed and like pats it. She says, Kaz, since you left, you have made a name for yourself and really established some great rapport with the people of the Midlands and the Drake Lords and whatnot, from what I've heard. It's all rumors, but, some of it's true, I'm sure. So, what I'm offering to you is the opportunity to come back for good. Remove that pesky banishment. Wear this garb of an ambassador, represent your fellow drow, and take part in this grand effort of our empire representing the nation and being an ambassador on behalf of your people. What do you think?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and Demiria's also like, I'm gonna excuse myself to the restroom.
Yep. Miria steps out. Just you and your mom.
She leaves. I don't understand. You banished me. You tell me never to leave as if it didn't even matter to you. What changed? What do you want?
So you're trying to like make her stop the bullshit?
Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
Kitty, I need your love. 10. 2 plus 8.
She smiles. That smile that you've seen a million times. That perfect facade that never breaks. She says, "Darling, I just wish for you to be happy and successful. I know that your place is here and you've had your fun adventuring, but I think that you could really do a lot for the Reznor. Your position, your influence with the Midlands. Things have been rocky between us and the Midlands for some time, and I think maybe you could stand to really represent us there and make a difference. Help people, you know." She says all that, and the whole time she's saying all this, she just like is gently like rubbing your shoulder and just trying to like soothe you in a motherly way, but again, it's still a little strange.
It's not.
She's never like comforted you,
right?
Ever,
right?
And it's just being very nice and very like proper and like kind things that
it doesn't make
a mother
sense.
should do, but it doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense, and Kaz is like weirded out by it. He's not like, this has got to all be fake. I don't believe it anymore. At first at dinner, like, you put on a good show, but then Indra's right back to her old ways. So I don't buy it anymore.
You say all that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, say it. She kind of like takes her hand off your shoulder and leans back a little bit and looks at you slowly up and down. She's like, "You have grown. Good." She gets up and looks out the window and like now is kind of stops trying to be your mother and converts into the woman that you know she is. The smile goes away.
House Daetoris.
She looks out the window with like a completely like stoic expression on her face, dead calm, and she just kind of starts talking and says, "I know a lot about your adventures. I know your companion is not who she says she is. And I know that there are forces at work here. She says there are forces at work here greater than your comprehension. I have sources that tell me of events happening far below the earth recently that are of concern and interest to the Empire." She kind of turns around and looks directly at you and says, like, "What do you know about these events of which I speak?"
I look outside the door at this point.
Trying to listen. Make a perception check.
Events. What events could I know that you couldn't at this point, Mother? You are the Duchess. There's nothing that escapes your thumb.
He's speaking very quietly.
I can ask Mittens to listen too, because he can hear better than me.
They're speaking under common. He doesn't speak common. He speaks only common. Can you repeat that? I was hearing.
I was along the lines of like, what could I know that you wouldn't know at this point? Like, what events?
Based on what I've heard, quite a lot. Giving you an opportunity, Kaz. Don't squander it.
I came here for information about who I am. You invited me to dinner. You offered to bring my friends here for what? I know why I'm here. I want to know about my father. I want to know about what I am.
Your father, and she kind of like laughs and she says, "Truthfully, I have no idea who he is. There was that one time I was traveling in Crystalia. Those trade barons throw great parties. But could be anyone."
anyone.
Yep.
I guess Kaz doesn't know that his Radiant Soul stuff comes not from the Blue Duke.
Right. You not really had that. But you knew that you had bright blue eyes that are a little, like, weird.
Right.
They're not, like, human, they're different.
Right.
And she seems genuine for what she's saying. Like, she genuinely has no idea. It was a fluke. It was an accident. But she goes on and says, I invited you here for dinner to learn something that you have, that you know, that I think could be useful to me. I give you the opportunity to restore your tarnished reputation, whatever is left of it. I give you the chance to be an ambassador, to rise in status above what you could ever hope to dream before. I'm fixing your mistakes, son.
My mistakes of wanting to help after being shunned, trying to do anything that I could to gain your favor. I come home, I go back to what? Being nobody, being an ambassador, doing what you tell me to, living not much of a life.
You say all these things, and you know, Kaz, that this is your newer perspective, having lived out in the world for a while. But like within the Reznor perspective, this is like super insulting. She's like, you're like,
right.
Why would I want to take orders from you? She's like, you should want to take orders from me. I'm the fucking Duchess. Like this is literally the highest you could hope to obtain in your life. Is like doing what I'm offering you right now.
Right, but like going back to being just like another
just
Reznor number.
Another Reznor.
Right.
Exactly, and you're right. But she doesn't quite see it that way. And she says, well, it's clear that this peace offering is not what you care about, and that's very disappointing. Even after you've grown a little and become a bit more of your own man, it's clear that you don't have what it takes to be a proper Reznor, which is typical. She looks back out the window and looks back to you. She says, well, all I will say is, the Reznor do what it takes. I thought maybe you had what it takes when you made that deal, whatever it is. Doing something out of the ordinary, you're just not the brightest and did it too visibly. There are others who do these sorts of things. You just don't do it in the public eye.
Oh, now Kaz is like pissed.
Yeah, you should be. So I gave you an opportunity to go prove yourself, and you did.
An
so congratulations.
Opportunity?
Yeah, you come back. I bring you back. I prove to the Reznor that you're
You bring
worth
me
it.
back?
Yes. And this is like, you have a reason to be mad. This is her worldview, right? Like everything is her actions, and what happens is only if she wills it. You have no free will in her mind's eye.
Right.
You are her minion, and like you're seeing that now more clearly than ever, and you're feeling it acutely.
Bring me back like you just told me to come home? Like,
do you stay outside the door to Miriam this whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can hear them now. Their voices are a little more raised, and you hear this discussion.
Like you tell me to come home? Like you just willed it? Like I've been under your thumb this whole time? You banished me. You don't understand.
I had to. You did this thing publicly. And you did. Like, you came to her in the chapel and you're like, Mother, I have learned magic. And you're like, I can help now. I can I can do something.
Right.
And they're like, how? And you're like, oh. And then they like revealed that you had made this pact. She says, I had to. I had no choice. You were a foolish child and had to be punished.
Exile? I could have died.
You say that, and there is like the faintest fleeting emotion of like empathy there. You sense it. It's like there for a moment, and she feels a little bad, just a little tiny bit bad, and then it's gone. And she's like, it had to be done. Kaz, you're not special. She lifts up, pulls aside part of her nightgown. You see on her side a rune burnt into her skin on her ribcage, and she like flicks a hand, and this gout of like purplish flame comes off a finger. She like looks in your eyes, and she's like, "You're not special." And she puts it back over to the side. You're just not very smart. Last opportunity. Take the deal or get out.
I'll, like, look at the ambassador, like, garb. Do I know Demiria's come back yet?
No.
No.
You're stealthily standing outside the door, staring at the door, listening. You don't know what was just. You didn't see that.
Right.
You heard it, and you heard her say that.
You're not special, you're just not smart.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kaz will, like,
Your mom is mean.
regain his composure. I'll leave first thing in the morning.
She's kind of like, you watch her jaw clench as you say all this. She takes a deep breath in, exhales, and says, very well. She walks past you, swings open the door. You're standing there. She looks at you, looks you up and down with like open annoyance and mild disgust on her face. No more friendliness. She says, whoever you are, be out of my city by daybreak. And she like rushes past you and like walks down the hall, slamming the door behind her.
Oh, I walk in there. Kaz, what the fuck just happened?
I got the truth. Everybody's a fucking hypocrite.
Correct.
Do you even want to stay the night? Maybe we should just leave now.
Probably.
I don't know how safe it is.
It's probably a good idea. Sure, Indra would be on her way any moment. Can you make us sneaky?
I can make me sneaky.
And it only applies to her.
Yeah.
Shit. Well,
Can we... I mean, did you ever sneak out as a teenager?
You certainly did.
To the second tiers?
Yeah, you definitely did.
Like, we gotta get out of the house, past the guards and stuff.
You know that your mother's private guard are often lurking about invisibly. That's their job. They protect the manor and the members of House Daetoris. You do know there are certain methods to escape from their observation using, like, there's like a secret passage through some parts of the house. You have to like sneak your way past a couple of the normal guards. It's doable. It's just hard. And you failed in your attempts to do it many times as a kid and were like dragged back to the manor.
Do we still have any of that true sight dust?
That's with Zephyr and Sir. And they used it in their session the other night.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Plan.
We need to leave.
I don't think it's safe here.
We need to go... And I'll, like, say in Celestial, we need to go get your father, and then back to Common, and leave.
I agree.
We need to do that probably tonight. Now, we could fly there.
I think that's gonna draw attention. I mean,
But exactly.
your wings aren't exactly subtle. Though it would be pretty cool to show your siblings that, like, I mean, it's pretty badass.
I don't care what they think. We just need to get out before we're in danger.
You know, Kaz? Muriel just looks at you. She's like, I'm proud of you. I heard you stand up for yourself. I know that had to be hard. Your family's pretty fucked up.
Kaz is like, don't know. Still haven't finished processing all that.
What's your plan?
Still haven't made one yet. We can't fly.
I think we need to sneak. I think we need to... You need to... Or I don't know. Maybe we just walk out. And if anyone asks you, just say, we're leaving now. And then we sneak our way down to the... We're speaking in Celestial, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Down to the mid-level, mid-tier.
As you're talking quietly to each other, Mittens is sitting by the door, like looking at you in confusion, and he like straightens up, sniffs the air, and he mumbles in calm, and he's like, "People are coming."
Okay, we need to leave now.
Out
Out the window? We can't get Vince down the window. Oh boy.
Well, let's get over to the window.
You're like third floor. Mittens has a run and long jump of like 40 feet. You could probably just jump down.
Or I can cast Fly on all three of us.
Or that.
But that's a little bit more
Loud.
yeah.
Maybe we see what they want. Is it his family?
Then he sniffs the air again. Says, no.
It's guards. Kaz, you know this house. We need to leave.
Is there a secret passage like out of my room effectively that we could use? We could try to use. It's not the window. Like
a history check.
I want to like open up the window and like make it.
See. The history check determines what your options are.
Okay.
I'm putting my cloak back on as we're talking.
Yeah, you put it back on. Get ready for action.
It's an 11. 5 plus 6.
11. There's no secret passageway in your room. The way that you would used to do it is you would have to like climb down from your window using the ivy growing on the outside of the manor, and then like drop down in the bushes and sneak your way past the perimeter guards through the like fence. Now you're too big to fit through the fence, so you'd probably have to climb over it, but still an option.
I think we need to go.
Quick, down the plants.
All right, Mittens.
And I'll like get on the outside and I'll like close the windows again.
Like it's about 30 feet. I think you can make it.
Mittens is like, yeah, I'll do it. He just jumps silently.
All right, and I'm gonna silently also.
Yeah.
Same
Go out
thing.
the
Kind
window.
of do what I used to do.
Make a athletics check with advantage because you've done this before.
Okay.
You as well to climb down.
Athletics with my plus 13.
As you're silently climbing down, about halfway down, you hear some muffled discussion in the room above you, and you hear the door slam shut again.
10.
28.
28. You're fine. You go down. Kaz, halfway down, you feel the ivy ripping off the wall. You're heavier than you used to be. You're wearing armor. Miria is still pretty dexterous. You get to the
Can I
ground.
try to catch him?
Yeah, make a dexterity or a strength saving throw. As Kaz comes falling down on top of you in full armor, making clanking noises because they're loud.
Oops. I did a plus 1. It's supposed to be a plus 10, so that is actually
27?
27.
26.
26.
Yeah, you catch him. Now make a stealth check, both of you.
I have a plus 10.
Did you activate your
I said I put the hood
Oh,
on.
that's right. Yeah.
I have disadvantage on stealth.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
and
net
I already
20
have
and 3.
a 6, so I have
4 total of
6 plus 16.
4.
It's 20.
24. Total of 12. So you both
Clank.
land on the ground, loud crunch, clang, smack, as like your armor clinks together. You're like, ee! Mittens flattens his ears down and like hunkers down. You look over and see in the light there are 2 guards near the entrance. They like perk up and look around and look up in the air and they turn and face in your general direction. You're in the darkness, you especially with your magic around you, but like they're drow, they have dark vision, they can find you within seconds if you don't do something.
We need to get out of here. Can we need to get out. We're like in a yard.
You're like in the open, like grassy front yard
And
of
there's
this
like
mansion.
like a wall,
I'll
essentially.
say 40 feet away, there is a long, curving, vertical iron fence that's about 10 feet tall that you'd have to climb over to get out of this chamber.
We need to go. And I'm just going to hop on Mittens and take off towards it.
Sprint.
He can jump on Mittens too if he wants, but we need to
I
make
will
a
try
decision.
to also jump on
Okay.
Mittens.
You both climb onto Mittens, and Mittens go.
Sorry.
I'll say slightly slower, 60 feet per round with 2 people. But he runs towards the fence. Make a stealth check with disadvantage for Mittens, as you carry 2 heavy clanking.
What's Mittens' stealth?
It's decent. It's like dex based. I'll do it.
Okay.
Mittens with a stealth check.
I would
Oh,
like to
Mittens.
also minor illusion the brush where we were rustling, like there's an
Okay.
animal
Make a deception
or
check.
something in there.
Mittens rolled a 6.
Oh boy.
Okay. 13 plus 4 for 17.
17.
I rolled another 13.
So
If I wasn't going to get it any other round, it would be this one.
11, like after averaging.
Right.
No. As you charge towards the fence, you can certainly jump over it. It's not a problem. But the guards see you and they're like, "You, wait! Halt! Halt! Alert!" They start shouting. You glance back over your shoulder and you see, seconds later, sort of appearing out of the shadows underneath the bedroom balcony where you were. Just like a flash of shadow, and stepping out of it, like 1, 2, 4, 7 of these private guards that like hide in the darkness and wait. They come out of the darkness, see you guys running for the fence, and they start like trotting after. Mittens jumps, sails over the fence, no problem. You land with a thud out in the open beyond the fence. You're in the open. You can sprint with Mittens and dash and whatever, but
they're gonna follow
they're
us.
Following
We can't lead them to. Tell them your mom wanted us to leave, and we're leaving.
I don't think it's going to be that simple.
It's worth a try.
Okay, well then we need to stop and talk to them.
Or shout.
Worst case scenario, I can cast fly and we can just run away.
Since we're on the other side of the fence now.
Yeah.
And we can run if we need to, but...
Sure, okay, we'll stop and I'll let them know, like, it's me, it's Casbiel, we're leaving, Mother wanted me gone, again.
Make a deception check.
She did want us gone.
She did, but you're
persuasion?
deceiving. Yes.
Okay.
She did want you gone.
She said by
You're lying
daybreak.
to them.
It is not daybreak
You're
yet.
half lying to them, but go ahead.
Okay. 14 plus 8 for 24.
24. It's mostly true. What
Mostly
you're saying.
true.
So it's not why you're leaving right now, but it's part of it. You say all that. The two guards at the entrance look at each other in confusion. The shrouded ones towards the back come trotting up, and some of them look back and forth at each other. But you see two of them like glance at each other, look back at you, and they just walk past the guards and start walking towards you both. They look more unhurried now that you've like stopped. And they're like,
go.
they just keep walking.
Do you want to run away from them? It looks like they want to talk to us.
No, it looks like they want to apprehend us, right?
For what? Leaving when your mom said we should leave?
Is it that they want to talk to us, or is it that they want to like apprehend us?
Make an insight check.
They know who I am now.
They know who you are.
But they've also probably been instructed to like torture me and tell me what Mom wants to know. Nat 1.
Nice.
Oh.
You're not sure. You never saw them much. You never interact with them much. You don't know what their intentions are. What do you do?
Let's leave.
Let's run. All right.
Bye.
They come walking up, like they're less sprinty and more like walking towards you carefully. They get a little bit closer, and you're like, no, and you start running. You hear one of them be like, shit. They break out into sprint after you as well.
We're on Mittens.
Yes, you're on Mittens. You watch as two of them wave their hands, and then their forms start to blur as they start running faster.
Shit.
They haste each other. There's only the two that seem to be like the leaders that have any kind of capabilities, but what's Mitten's full speed on a sprint? With like the dashing?
Well,
60?
He's 70 feet around, but you're saying he's slowed because
60.
he's got two of us, so 60, so
Double.
120?
120. So you can move 120 feet around. The hasted guards have move of 30, double to 60, and they're dashing for 120.
I would like to... so it says in Find Familiar that when you dismiss your familiar as an action, you can bring it back in a space within 30 feet.
For sure.
I want to Zarut back and be like, hold them off, like slow them down.
Slow them down?
Yeah.
Is that all the instruction you give?
That's the only instruction that I give.
Okay. Zarut.
Just, I'm panicked, slow him down.
He like takes all this in, he sees like you're sprinting, he's flapping alongside you. He's like, okay, boss. Quiet again. No, he didn't say quietly, not yet. He whips around, flaps in the direction once. You see him take a big, deep breath in, and this flame rushes out once again. He flies through it, and erupting out the other side and slamming into the ground is this grotesque, hulking creature. It is almost like a giant gorilla blended with a frog, if you will. It is covered in spines and like purplish armor, and it goes like and just like slams the ground right in front of them. This is his brute form.
Oh fuck!
And he's just gonna as they run towards, they like skid to a stop and like what the fuck, is trying to go. Zarut just goes opens his mouth and his tongue flies across the thing and like wraps around one of them and he ganks it over and he starts smashing on it. Zroot just goes ham on one of them.
Oh fuck!
Alright, let's use that to our advantage and go.
Zroot, you watch Zroot like eats it partially. It's like he's like eating this drow like
Oh god!
the other drow just hasted runs around it and keeps chasing you. So you're running now. There is only one after you. Zroot has fully disposed of or prevented the other one from keeping pace. There's one left that's hasted and chasing after you. As you run, where? Midden says, like, where are we going? Okay. You are now to the east of the mansion, directly at the top of the upper level in the main road. There's the Protectorate across the street.
So we're going towards the Protectorate, or we're going
towards? You're like right in front of the Protectorate, which is, as you would know, the like smaller church of the other gods that are worshipped by the Reznor.
We cannot lead him there. We need to get rid of him.
I have an idea, and I'm going to cast Mislead. So I turn invisible, and an illusory double of me is in my place. I'm gonna have the illusory double like kick a leg over and like jump off the moorbounder and kind of like motion for them to go and be like, "What do you want? We're supposed to be leaving."
Fuck. Is that is there a saving throw at all with that, or does it just happens? Like they have to believe it's real because it looks completely real.
You become invisible at the same time as an illusory double appears where you are standing. The double lasts for the duration, concentration up to an hour, but the invisibility ends if you attack or cast a spell.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
It's
not like
That's awesome. Is that a new one?
It's a 5th level, so I've been holding onto it.
Sweet.
So, as you sprint into the darkness, and the illusory Kaz hops off at the exact same moment you turn invisible, you're holding onto the back of Demiria.
Yeah.
Landing in the grass, and you see it like stand there and like put a hand out to like halt the running person. How do you convey this illusory double to act?
I want them to be like annoyed. It's like kind of the same way that Kid Kaz would be of like, why are you following me? Stop! I'm just doing my own thing, right?
Yeah.
And like, look, we were told to leave. Like, what do you want? Like, stop.
It's late. It's like 10 p.m. There's no drow out and about. This person hasted, runs up to you, stops right in front of you, looks over and seeing Demiria running off, looks at the illusory double as you're gaining distance, and he like says something. You can't hear what he says.
I can hear and see through the illusory double as a bonus action, like switch back and forth.
Can you control it remotely? Or is it like stationary?
You can use your action to move your illusory double up twice your speed and make it gesture, speak, and behave in whatever way you choose.
That's amazing.
It's full remote control.
It's full remote control.
Shit.
Illusory
Okay,
Kaz.
so they stop right in front of you and they're like, Master Daetoris, your mother wishes to speak with you.
We already spoke. She banished me again.
She wishes to speak with you. She's had a change of heart. Please return.
That doesn't make any sense. She just told me that
As
she
you guys-
wanted me gone.
You continue to run on, and he like looks around, or she looks around, and she says, like, there's nobody around. She's like, fuck it. She pulls out this thing and just shanks you right through the stomach, and like stands looking at it, the sword. Nothing happens, right? Because it's an illusion.
Well, yeah. Can I like try to dodge as the illusory double at all? Like, do they get an AC,
no.
or it just happens?
It just happens. She makes an attack on you, right? Like,
Okay.
mechanically.
Oh my gosh.
As she swipes through
gonna
it,
kill you.
you see this like shadow blade. These are like your mother's private assassins.
Right.
As they slice through the illusion, they look down and they're just like, "Fuck!" and they just like recast haste and start running again. They're running after you again, but you're like, that was a solid 20 seconds delay.
Distance.
You've
Right.
put distance between you.
It looks like if we go towards the Protectorate, there's some mountains and hills. Maybe
So
we
the dark
can-
spires are all around, ringed on either side.
I think we should
Right.
try. I think we need to get back to my dad eventually, but I think we need to try to hide for at least a little bit.
I think we get him and get the hell out via fly.
Do you have more spell slots?
We have
Yeah.
so
Oh,
much
hell yeah.
ground to cover to get there. I'm worried that another one of them is going to catch us between now and then.
Well, if we get there, we only have to get there. I cast fly on all four of us, or is it two of us?
And then they shoot us down out of the sky.
I think you have 3 at 5th level. It's 3rd for 1, 4th for 2,
3 for
5th
third.
for 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to end up following us with my dad in tow.
Well.
So you have 3 options at this point: run and hide somewhere, go straight to your dad ASAP, and fly with him somewhere, or go straight to your dad ASAP, draw a teleportation circle, and GTFO with all of you. But that takes a whole minute to do.
Right, and we gained about 20, 30 seconds, not a full minute.
Yeah.
You've spoken with my dad now. Can you sending him to meet us somewhere?
I don't have sending.
That's
yeah,
right. You have the ring. But we already
Zephyr
used it.
gave me that, yeah.
You're running. This is all happening very quickly. Where are you turning and going south towards the lower levels? Or are you staying up in the top tier? Mittens, like, where do I go? What do I do?
Mid-level, let's
Okay, you go to the mid-level.
Get to
You're
your
running
dad.
down the central thoroughfare. Here there are more people like out late doing stuff, and people are like shocked to watch a warbounder sprint through the road with these two local people they don't recognize running on them. That's the plan.
We're drawing too much attention.
I don't have darkness anymore.
Nope. It's gone.
We just need to get there. We just need to get to your dad, and then we'll you can hold him off while we cast. We'll like do the teleportation circle. It's the only thing that I can think of.
I think.
Because if we hide, they're gonna have the invisible. They become invisible, when they're not like doing stuff. So we would be at a disadvantage trying to like sneak anywhere.
I think that you need to. So if we're going to the mid-level, I have Pass Without a Trace currently, still. I think you need to go somewhere. I'm going to get my dad and we need to come meet you. I'm just worried if we're all together that...
Minz is very obvious, right? He's stealthy when he's doing nothing and being quiet, but he's a large animal. He's hard to hide.
I think that you and Mittens need to...
Okay.
Get to your dad, get him out of the mid-level. We were seen heading this way. I'll buy us some time, and I'm going to use Radiant Soul.
Yeah.
Burst out some blue
Fire
wings and
wings.
just like jump off the back of.
Like a burning blue angel, you rise into the sky over this darkened, highway. People are like, "Oh, what the fuck?" So you fly up in the sky. You are very visible from every corner of the city.
Using that distraction and hoping that people are paying less attention to the more
Going the exact opposite.
Back
way.
towards the pasted person, or straight
Uh,
up, or like where
So
you...
they're going I imagine they're going east along the mid-level.
So you guys are like right here. This is where your dad is in Blacksmith. So Demiria, you can go this way to like the lower tier, or Kaz, where do you want to go? Up.
Yeah.
right,
So
right,
I'm gonna go left.
this way.
Like I'm heading towards the wall.
Staying in the middle tier, going left. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Where are we meeting?
Probably your dad's house,
Well.
where you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your dad. Get out is what I said.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm going to keep going.
Right.
I want Mittens to slow down and be a little more stealthy now that we have a distraction.
Okay. So Mittens sprints
Sprintens.
around the corner,
Sprintens.
and you go into an alley nearby. Both of you make a stealth check to now try and like lose your followers.
I also
I'm not
can't
being
be
stealthy.
Make a
tracked.
performance check.
Okay.
What?
I can't be tracked with Pass Without a Trace,
No.
and I leave behind no tracks. But I
Very
have
true.
Mittens.
Mittens does, but you're
You can
very
carry
stealthy.
Mittens.
Just like squat Mittens running through the streets.
19.
Stealth.
That's
Yeah.
a 28 for Demiria, and Mittens has
Nice.
a +2, it looks like.
Mhm.
19 for Mittens.
Nice. Yeah. So both of you, you're still running on Mittens. Like you're low to the ground. He begins to crawl through the shadows of the roads, just keeping to the alleyways and like avoiding the main brightly lit spaces. You fly off to the left with your wings burning, and all the people in the streets are like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And like
Yeah.
you watch as the hasted person comes to the intersection behind you, looks both ways, sees you, and like just starts running after you.
Right.
You also see the watchtowers around the perimeter of the city. Their whole job is to protect the city from invaders and from strange things. You watch as several of them are like, they're distant, but you can see movement on the watchtowers. You know that they're all equipped with high-powered ballista, as well as spellcasters,
Oh, no.
always on watch. The longer you fly, the more likely it is you're going to be targeted with lots of Kalanora's defensive capabilities. So, you're fully stealthy. You're fully not. What happens in the next minute? You split the party twice.
Oh no.
We double
split
quartered
the
the
Split
party.
Oh man, and we can't talk to each other. Oh no.
You don't have the capabilities of Sir and Zephyr to fill the gaps.
I'm
You
sorry.
have,
I'm gonna
you have
go
1
left.
minute of flight, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go left until that runs out.
Okay. All the way to the edge.
And I imagine that they're traveling along the same pace.
Get it? They're more or less close behind you.
Haste lasts a minute,
Mm-hmm.
so when they
They give up. They run out about 30 seconds in because they've been falling for a full minute and a half.
at that point, I'm going to use my 6th level slot to cash Tasha's Otherworldly Guise,
Uh-huh.
get a faster flying speed, and just again like swoop low to like kind of try to hide myself from the upper tiers, and
Okay.
just like
Where are you going now?
back to the blacksmith.
Okay,
Oh,
so you're just
no.
doubling back now in the
Yeah, but
direction you get.
faster than
As
I
fast
was
as you
before.
can.
Yeah. So it's like
So for a short period of time, four wings flapping in the sky, this bright just fire comet through the streets, illuminating. You are impossible to miss in terms of visual. You double back and you see them like stumble and turn around. They're starting to get exhausted.
that
You've
was my
lost
plan.
you've lost that one, but you get the sense that they're everywhere and like you're impossible to miss. Every eye in Kellanora is now starting to look in the direction of this kerfuffle.
Right.
So you're doubling back, trying to sprint straight for her dad's house.
Trying to get to the blacksmith, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, hopefully I got there first.
Yeah, at this point, it's been about a minute. You arrive. It's
So in this
the lights
minute,
are off. It's shuttered.
what I'm doing is I am getting there, look around real quick to make sure no one's following me, ask Mittens to look as well.
He sniffs the air and he's like, "There's a lot going on, but I don't scent anyone nearby."
Okay, I'm going to use my elbow to break the door.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're Demiria, but you just bust the door in.
And I'm going to run in, and I'm going to whisper in my unique dialect of Undercommon, we need to go now.
You watch as your dad like bolts up out of bed. He like he whirls a like spear in the style of your people, and he's like, "You won't take me alive." And then he's like, "Oh,
Keep that with you, let's go.
okay." And he like holsters it, grabs his bag, throws it over his shoulder, and runs with you.
Okay, and I want us to, I know Mittens will be slow again, but I want us to get on the back of Mittens,
Okay.
and I want us to, through the alleyways, go as far as we can until we hit them, until we get out of the city and hit the mountains, essentially, is the direction that I want to head in.
Okay. You know that there's basically like there's no clear way into the city that doesn't involve like scaling sheer cliffs.
Right.
You can try, but like you're gonna have to climb over a wall, regardless of what direction you go to get out of the
How
city.
tall of a wall?
25 feet.
Mittens can clear that.
With a check, Mittens can clear it. He's got 2 people on him, so
I will use my ring of jumping. Mittens can jump with my dad. I'll jump by myself.
okay. Yeah. Fair enough. That'll
Do I
probably do
show
it.
up?
Yeah, so and you're just gonna go straight east?
We're just,
The
he said,
mountains?
take your dad and get out of here, so we're getting out of here. I'm
Okay.
basically trying to put as much distance between us and by the time they realize that that they don't know where we are, I'm trying to put as much distance
Yeah.
between us.
Gotcha. So you just sprint quietly toward the edge of the city. At the same time, Kaz is bolting like a flash of fire across the city in the same direction, but behind Kaz, as you're flying low, in between the rooftops and buildings, the watchtowers are still pointing at you. You see spotlights pointed in your direction, tracking you as you move through the city streets. As soon as you fly out into the main thoroughfare, you're exposed for a solid 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And in that window, you hear distant ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
Oh no.
Things are rolling.
Oh god.
You're pretty far away.
Oh yeah.
What's your speed right now?
Flying speed of 40 feet.
Okay. You're dashing, I assume. So
Yes.
80. Does 21 hit?
I would have +2 to AC, but that normally makes it 18, so yes.
Okay. You watch as flying through the air, almost as fast as you can like track them, dark shapes. One flies inches in front of your face and then slams into the building, quivering a ballista bolt right there. 2 more, foof, foof, and then a 4th one. You are pinned to the wall. You take
Oh fuck.
Why is it always ballistas?
I don't know, man.
37 piercing damage as you are... Wasn't a crit, but 37 piercing damage as you are pinned, grappled by the wall, as you were like literally stapled to the wall. It's like through your shoulder. Your wings flapping uselessly.
Well, considering I'm strong enough, hopefully, I want to, like, snap it and, like, pull myself off and, like...
Make a strength check.
Oh, I also need to make a concentration check for the Tasha's.
True. The one downside of casting on yourself. DC 18.
18.
It's half of 36, so 18.
Con save
Yeah.
is 21, so...
You have Warcaster, right? So,
Yeah.
You're good. You maintain it, they flicker for a moment, you keep them up. A strength check to break free.
Like a strength check or save, or... it's
Check.
the same.
Just check. Meanwhile, Miriam, you hop off of bins, you get to the edge of the wall. The alerts are, like, the alarms are sounding, but you just hop off, use your ring of jumping, and just sproing, you land, like, teetering on the edge of the wall. Mittens jumps up beside you. You see Drougard look at you from left and right, and they're like, ah! And then you just, like, jump off on the side and run towards the mountains.
That was an 8. To try
break
to,
it.
like, break it.
You're struggling. You're, like, twisting on it, pulling on it. Meanwhile, you look to the nearest watchtower, you see them reloading. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Okay.
And you see all the way down the road dozens of dark-robed figures running your way.
How far is the wall?
From your current location, you're near the blacksmith shop. I would say it's probably like 800 feet.
Oh boy.
How many spell slots you got left there, buddy?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would. So at this point, Demiria,
right.
you get the sense that you're probably in the clear. Like, you're running into the, like, open scrubland in this, like, part of the city where nothing happens. They're, like, one of the watchtowers is pulling around their lights to try and track you, but you rapidly run into the woods with your dad and Mittens. They might send something after you, but if you keep going, you'll probably lose them, especially with your magic.
Okay. Now that we, like, maybe can, like, not be running at full top speed, I'm gonna look back. Do I see any or hear anything?
Make a perception check. As you run, like, into the mountains, which is kind of gradually an incline away from the city, because it's in this valley.
Perception.
Yeah.
8.
No, you do not. You're not high enough yet to see down to the city where Kaz is. Kaz, what are you doing?
Dimension door.
All right.
Dimension door is not concentration, so
You still have it.
So I still have Tasha's.
Yeah.
So I want to dimension door whatever the hypotenuse is of, like, up and towards the wall, so I can just, like, whoop in the air and, like,
keep going.
And keep going.
Sure. So as you watch as the now with advantage the ballista towers aim towards your grappled form, and you watch as like 2 of these ballistas are flying straight towards you. You're like, oh! You dimension door 500 feet up in the air, just in time to see them like partially demolish the building that you were stapled to a minute ago.
Right.
You get your balance, holding your hole in your arm, and just start booking it east as well. Your plan was to go to Demiria's dad's house, but you're now directly over it, more or less. What are you doing now? You do not know where Demiria is at all.
Well, I told her to get her dad and get out.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that she got out, so I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
I imagine that they did they did what they did, and that they got there and then just
Yes.
kept going.
At this point, even though you didn't see it before, suddenly there's a flash, and you see now the haphazardly flapping 4 burning wings of a small pinprick Kaz over the city.
Is that Kaz?
And he's now flying, not directly towards you, kind of at a different angle, but you can track him as he flies.
Yeah, and I'm going to just, like, more or less 500 feet up in the air.
Yeah. Like
So
380 or whatever.
I think I'm actually almost even past, like, ballista range.
Yeah, no, by the time that like they can figure out where you are and like pivot around, you'll be out of range.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to keep doing that, like, kind of, get up into whatever cloud cover there is if I can.
Sure.
It's going to be cold, but, like, I can deal with the cold for a little bit.
How long is Otherworldly for?
It's a minute, I think.
It's probably just another minute.
It's concentration up to a minute.
I would say you have maybe 20 seconds left before your
Do I feel
form
it?
goes away.
Do I feel it fading?
Yeah.
Dive bomb, then. Just, like, Peregrine Falcon, like...
Just like going for the...
Like, 4 flapping wings,
yeah.
like...
Well, one of them has gone away, so now you're back down to 2. But
2 wings just, like, like wrap up in like a peregrine falcon, just like
Just dive bomb for over the walls, but like in the woods.
Yeah, like at a like nice 45 to make sure that I'm out of range.
Make
still.
a Constitution saving throw as you get very close, but the spell time limit subsides. It's just to maintain it as long as possible to get over the wall. You see him dive bombing, like maybe he'll be 300 feet away from you, hitting the edge of the woods. He's very visible, and like all the alarms are sounding.
That's why I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, keep going without it.
Mm-hmm.
So say, is it a concentration check or like a con save to maintain concentration, or is
yes,
it a... Okay.
I'll say that.
Warcaster. I'd like to use my luck.
Dark one's on luck?
The like make it happen lucky roll. I rolled 7s a bunch.
Oh, you still have
I
that?
haven't used that. I've been holding on to that.
Okay.
And I think this is the time where I need to not fall into the ground at 100 miles an hour with 38 health.
You may roll a third d20 to add to this roll. Triple advantage.
Excuse me, kitty. Excuse me, kitty. I thought that was just it happens, like a...
Oh no, you just get another chance.
Oh.
Yeah.
For a roll like this, if it's like something that's not specifically a roll, you just want it to go well, then that's different. But
Shit, okay.
it's not auto success, but it's you do the best you can.
Can I take the luck point back and actually use the Dark One's own
Sure.
luck? Okay.
Also fine.
To add a d10.
Yep.
Because I rolled a 5 plus a 5, which would be a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Plus a 9?
Or
a 6?
It's a d10, right? So it should have a dot on the bottom or a line on the bottom.
It doesn't. Oh, they're right next to each other. But it's 10 is facing this way, so it would be 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So total of 19, which is good because the DC was 15. You feel it fading. They disappear for a minute. You're just like free falling, and then they reappear for like one more round. You give one last push to over the wall, and you go crashing straight into the woods. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no!
You watch this last push from Kaz as he disappears into the woods, and like a bunch of birds fly off as he crashes hard into the treetops.
Still going because that was going to draw a lot of attention.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Stop it!
Put it in the hole.
I'm trying!
There you go. That one. Amazing.
Kitty, why?
You take 32 bludgeoning damage as you descend, crashing through the trees and slam into the ground at top speed.
Amazing.
You're pretty badly hurt.
Pretty beat up, yeah.
You rolled a nat one?
I rolled a nat 1.
Yeah. You break your arm and several ribs.
Oh.
You feel it. It's bad.
Oh god. Oh god.
As you stagger up from the ground, wheezing, Demiria is nowhere to be found, and you know that pursuit is hot behind you still.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to
You just continue to run, Demiria, deeper into the woods.
cast fly.
You got one of those left?
I still got one. That's my last spell slot.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
And I'm just gonna like.
That's much more subtle than the flaming wings variety.
Yes, that's a 60 foot.
Where are you
speed as
going?
well.
Just as far away as possible?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna, yeah, try to like just like get out as far away as like I can. And
Is that a full minute too?
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So I want to go like out until I think that they would stop chasing me, and then up enough to where I think I could see a moorbounder and
Sure.
2 people.
So you just fly up the side of the mountain, heading up into the dark spires for as long as you can with fly. 10 minutes go by. You eventually land on a very cold, covered in snow, icy outcropping. Clearly, let's see, what's the math on that? What fly gives you 50 speed?
It's
40?
60.
60, so 120 times 10 times 10. It's 12,000 feet
Holy shit.
of movement, which is
That's
2
like
miles.
2 miles, yeah.
So if you're just booking it the whole time. You can go up to 2 miles away. You get the sense that's probably necessary amount of distance.
Yeah, to put some time between.
Yeah. And you're now way up above the city, like much higher in elevation. The air is very thin. Reminds you when you went up the Dark Spires before.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking down, see Kellanora, nice and calm in the distance. You can see the lights kind of slowly panning around. It's quiet here. What you doing?
I'm gonna use Healing Hands as an action and give
Sure.
myself 40. Can you roll 44 for me?
Yep.
Because I don't have that many d4.
4d4.
Correct.
10.
10 hit points. I will take that. It's not bad, actually. Is it just 44? Yeah.
You continue to run into just running in a straight line away from the city.
Can I, observe?
You see the huge swaths of timberlands and, icy outcroppings beneath
I
you.
was gonna say, we are trying to be sneaky and avoid detection.
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Can I negate the disadvantage with Devil's Sight?
No.
Okay.
You see through things, not better. You still need glasses. You can just magically see well.
Okay. Not bad. 9 plus 5 for 14.
Nope.
So once it's been about 10-15 minutes, I think we'll...
You're probably about a mile away at that point. It's slower going through the woods, but you both stop, catch your breath. The immediate urgency is gone, but here you are. You don't know where each other are. You're acutely aware of the fact that you have no escape mechanism without Kaz and his magic.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz, you are aware of this as well.
Yeah.
You're tapped out of spell slots right now as well.
Yes, I am.
Your dad, Amani, you know his name, turns to you and he says, he's like, panting for breath. He says, "Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting it to be that dramatic."
I'm sorry, changing plans.
Who was your friend? Kaz was his name?
Yeah.
Why is he on fire? He was flying.
Oh, he does that.
This is your dad. He just sort of catches his breath. He says, "Oh well, what's the plan? How do we get to the Midlands? I heard that was I think that I sent it to the tribe. How do we get back to the tribe? Why do we get out of here?"
The Midlands. That's it. We need to get to Archelon. The Reznor have no power there. Oh boy. We need to get through the Dark Spires. We need to find Kaz. Well,
How do you propose doing that? He's fluid. I saw him crash in the woods, but
yeah.
Oh, would they have in theory seen me,
No.
swoop or
No.
heard or anything?
you were both trying to be very stealthy. Neither of you would have seen the other.
So in theory,
No way.
past them.
You didn't go right over. You were.
Well,
It's
yeah.
a very dense, dark forest at night, being stealthy. You're not going to notice each other going different directions.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Let's all take a
Yes.
breath.
Take a breath.
Okay.
Process.
We need to find Kaz. I did see him crash land. He can't be that far away.
True.
Okay. Mittens, I need you to catch your breath.
Vince is panting pretty hard, and he's like, "Working on it." And then the guy, your dad's like, "Whoa, can you talk?"
Dad? This is Mittens.
Vince is like, "Sup?" And then your dad is like, "Oh wow, hello, Mittens. My name is Amani. You can talk. How?"
I guess the talking more about it is more interesting than the fact that I
Not-
call him Dad.
You haven't mentioned anything about that yet.
That's why I said Dad.
Oh,
His
good
name
point.
is Mittens.
Good point. He's still fixating on the cat. He hasn't processed what you just said.
Yeah, he's a special moorbender.
Wait, did you just call me Dad?
Yep.
He kind of stares at you, looks at your face, looks at your
I'm
jawline.
I have torn off the Reznor gear.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
It's fully revealed. He sees the arm tattoos. He kind of takes you and he says, "Demiria? Hello, I'm your dad. I'm sorry. I had a speech ready for when I got to see you for the first time, but I guess that is all out the window. Hi." He goes to give you a hug.
I'll hug him too. I thought he's been dead
Yeah.
for the last 20 years.
You have this moment to embrace, and he steps back. He's like, "Oh wow, you are awesome. This is cool. shit, we don't. I really want to have this moment, but I'm also scared. We need to get out of here.
So once Mittens has caught his breath,
Yeah.
and be like, Mittens, we need to find Kaz. We need to track him. We've tracked things in the woods before. I want to see if Mittens and I can together hunt down Kaz.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's also probably wounded and out of breath, so I'm banking on the fact that he's probably going to stop at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mittens definitely knows what Kaz smells like.
Mm-hmm.
He's remarked on it before.
What?
Oh, it's Christine.
Biggest fan.
Oh. Oh my god, Christine, you scared the crap out of me.
I figured.
I heard the door open. I'm like, excuse me.
Keep going.
I heard the door open too. I'm like,
What are you?
is that someone who thinks this is their apartment? But it's not.
Have you been watching, Christine?
No, because the data couldn't handle it.
Oh, sad. You're watching on data.
Oh, you just missed the most
So sad.
epic chase scene.
Okay.
Okay,
So
you can watch the
Recap.
recap later.
you want to make a survival check, Demiria, to try and track or see any trace whatsoever of him.
Exactly.
Mittens is going to make a perception check.
I'm gonna rely on Mittens' scent to get us in the right direction, and then I want to also be able to, track him. I don't know. Maybe he's bleeding. Maybe he's
He is, or he was.
okay.
Let's roll a
So
9.
Survival for me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
With
I'd
advantage.
like to start ritually casting Find Familiar to get Zarut back.
Okay.
It's going to take a little
You
while.
don't know what happened to the route.
I have no idea.
It takes you 10 minutes, but at the end of that, nothing's happened in 10 minutes. You summon the root, and a little puff of blue flame, he pops out of it and like shakes himself off. And he says, "Wow, never eaten someone before."
Oh.
Did you eat someone? What?
Yeah, that guy. You're on stream, Christine.
Oh, hi.
He said, "Yeah, elf tastes all right, I guess."
Okay, I'm gonna need to process that. I'm hurt bad. I need you to find Demiria. They're in the woods. I'm definitely farther out than they are. You gotta find them.
Okay, boss. You shouldn't have lost her, but whatever. Not my
Wait.
job.
Before you leave, and he's gonna like uncork a thing and like drink the greater healing potion that he has.
Nice.
How
How many healing?
So, because I took Gift of the Everloving one,
Oh, it's maxed.
It's maxed.
Nice.
So it's 16 plus 4.
16d4.
16. It would be 4d4
44
plus 4,
16,
but it's
20.
maxed out. So,
Yeah, sure.
so 20.
20 healing hit points for sure.
20 hit points, which
Uh,
I needed because I was at like 10.
Yep. Yep.
Now I'm back up to like 30 something, so I'm like feeling a little bit better. I can move my arm and breathe fully again. Like.
Zorud says, "I'll go look for him. Be right back," and it flies off.
And just gonna kind of like start a short rest if that's possible.
He is gonna fly around 15. Miria, what was your survival check?
My survival check was 14.
14. Yeah. So you watch Kaz as Zarut does like little flybys over the nearby woods, back and forth, scanning for them, looking for any sign of it. You look through his eyes to try and do the same. You make a perception check as well as you see through his eyes, but are looking for different things.
I don't get advantage like the animals do. It's a 4 plus 5 for 9.
Rolling real shit, y'all. No, you can't find each other.
Oh crap.
15 minutes pass. You get the sense that your 2-mile advantage is now shrinking rapidly. You're still pushing on, but like looking as you go, you see no trace of Kaz whatsoever. They split the party after splitting the party.
Solid.
Yeah.
Good choices, y'all.
Well, I mean, it's getting pretty late, I assume.
It's like midnight.
I think we need to get as much distance as we can and make camp for the night, and then we need to keep looking for him.
Okay.
We can't leave without him.
Okay. You just keep pushing, trying to keep putting distance. You keep riding Mittens. I'm gonna make a con saving throw for
I was
Mittens.
gonna say, basically until we have to stop, I want to keep going.
He's good. He keeps pushing. You keep running, and you don't know that you're passing Kaz and going deeper into the mountains than Kaz is. Kaz, it's been 15 minutes or so, and you're just sitting there. Zurk comes back. He says, "No trace of him, boss."
It's so, how do I give away my position to Kaz without giving it away to the other people that are following us? I can't like make a fire or something.
Dig deep. All the abilities. What are they?
Who is following them?
The
Everyone in
entire guard of Kalanora.
Great job, y'all.
Zroot ate someone because of that.
Okay. I'm going to. This is all I can do. I'm going to call on a favor. I'm going to pull out my sending stone
To Ova.
to Ova, the only person it goes to,
Oh.
and I'm gonna say, "Babe, I know it's the middle of the night. I'm in an emergency situation. I can't find Kaz.
Sorry.
I'm going to, in like as few words as I can, describe where I am and beg her to find someone that can send to Kaz."
Okay. You immediately hear back, like, within a second after you complete it. She's like, I'm on it. I'll tell you when I've got something. And it's just silence. In Bulgraz, Ova jolts out of bed, runs across the room, and hammers on the door of one of the other knights in this hall that they share. It is, in fact, what's her name?
Simone.
It is Simone. Waking up Simone in the middle of the night in her pajamas, and she's like, Simone, I need you to send someone on behalf of my girlfriend right now. It's super urgent. Simone's like, okay, who? And Ova's like, oh boy. And they proceed to try their best to describe these things and build up enough of a basis to send a message to Kaz.
Wait till he gets back, I guess.
Yeah.
This is desperate
It's
times.
like three-way telephone.
Yeah.
Four-way telephone.
Kind
And
of
I'm
sucks when you don't have these options. Zephyr and Sir have got all the things covered, and
Yep.
you guys don't.
Yep. I'm going to stay where we are. And
Take a moment to breathe.
Take a moment to breathe. You know, watching, see if anyone's following us. But
You want to try and take a short rest? It's a full half hour.
I would like to try and take a short rest.
Okay.
Yes. As we're waiting.
All right.
I don't need any hit points back, but I don't know if it matters for Mittens for resting.
This is all like one day.
All right. I sent to Ova, and she's gonna help.
She's going to try and help. She's asking Simone, the cleric in their group, to try and do a sending on their behalf.
To you, I described my location.
We're going to roll for it.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna
Oh,
see what
God.
happens.
You stop and try to take a short rest. You're about 20 minutes of resting. 10 more minutes, you'll get a short rest. Do you want to try and do it?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a full short rest because that's the only way that I get back to full.
You hear back from Ova. We sent off 2 spell slots. It hasn't gone through. Is there something about Kaz that I can describe to her that's more, has he changed recently? Has he updated his outfit? I don't know.
I'm gonna reply back. Yes, he has 4 sets of wings now.
Well, that's very specific.
Blue flaming ones. There's probably not many of those.
That's super cool.
By the way, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's okay. No problem. I really miss you. We need to hang out soon.
Agreed.
And, check. There we go. Kaz, you hear in your mind, hello, is this Casbiel? My name's Simone. Where are you? Your friend Myriad needs you now.
I'm like, oh my fucking god, you're amazing.
That's 7 words. You have 14 left.
And then I will describe where I'm at, like higher up mountain, slightly like above forest, 2 miles out.
Okay. You hear back from Ova seconds later, exactly what he said. And she's like, that's not terribly helpful. I hope that's enough to go off. She's got 1 more left in her. You need to do it.
I'll use a charge of ambition to create a bonfire where I'm at.
Blazing
boy.
blue bonfire, 2 miles from the outskirts of Kelnora.
Well, I don't know if he's doing this, so I'm gonna say, I think we can work with that. Tell him stay put, send Zarut, and don't draw attention.
You telephone this. She did the sending, and she's like, last sending, stay put, don't draw attention. Tells Zarut to not draw attention, and they're coming to you.
I want Zarut to basically
Try and look for you guys.
try and look for us, so
Yeah.
that at least I'll try to
Did you tell
try
me?
to triangulate his position.
Mhm.
Did you try to tell me where you were at all so I know,
No.
like...
The first one I did.
Well, you don't really have A frame of
I was
reference.
like in some trees.
Yeah,
yes.
in the trees.
But
Oh,
I know
yes.
I know you are in the mountain now. I know that.
Yep.
So I'm
Really, he's like a higher elevation than you.
Yeah.
Probably back the way you came.
So that is helpful. So I'm going to begin. We're going to begin traveling in that direction, and I'm going to be, basically trying to triangulate his position by looking for a place on the side of the mountain where he would be able to see the forest.
Yep.
Higher elevation than I am. About 2 miles outside of the city,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that Zarut circling will
Make-
intersect our paths at some point.
Make an investigation check with advantage.
Oh god, I have
So
a
it's
minus
Zarut.
one.
Yeah, I guess I'll have Zarut like.
Root's
doing
going to do
what
another
she
perception
said.
check with advantage.
15.
15. Root rolled a 12. As you go that direction, what do you do? You keep the bonfire up, or do you?
No, I take that back.
Take it
She
back.
said- she told me not to
Yeah.
draw attention.
You like light it. You're like, no, never mind. you
Multiple
run
people
back.
are looking for you.
Run back through the trees, heading that way. You're just crouching, waiting, looking through Zarut's eyes. You don't see them, but all of a sudden, Miria, as you're going up along the tree line, up in that elevation, it's freezing cold. You see a little tiny black pseudo-dragon.
We're going in the right direction. Gonna keep going closer. Does the root speak celestial?
No.
No, he just
Definitely
speaks
not. Okay.
Telepathic
And infernal.
and infernal.
Well, I can't speak to him telepathically. I'm just gonna try to get closer to where he is, and hope I see him pass again.
Yeah, you go that direction. Kaz, make a stealth check. As you rush that way, animals flapping there around overhead. You, tracking where he's kind of circling around, you try to head for the center of that.
Oh, I have disadvantage. on stealth.
It
I
can
won't-
get worse.
I won't give you disadvantage because you're not moving or like
Oh,
being
okay.
you're just
Creaking.
sitting there. You're crouching in the darkness.
Okay, it's still only a 5.
5.
I'm just
Uh,
like sitting there in the cold, like.
Yep. You see about a quarter mile down in a small clearing, coming into view, like a small group of these dark-robed, like assassin types. They come out into the group, into like the space. They look around, and you just make eye contact from like a quarter mile away, and they're like,
Damn it!
like running into the woods. About this time, you come past a tree. You see maybe 200 feet away, Kaz crouching on a ledge, like looking down to the tree line with a shocked expression on
I'm
his
coming
face.
from the behind him.
You're coming from the opposite direction of like them. You're,
So like
meeting
we're
them.
both going towards Kaz.
Yeah.
Kaz is in the middle.
Yep, you're 200 feet away. They're a quarter mile away.
Have I gotten my
Short rest, sure.
Oh, thank God.
I'm gonna whisper shout.
Whisper
Can't whisper shout. I'm just Kaz.
You hear her.
Demiria! Oh, thank God! They're coming!
They found you. Oh fuck.
I'm gonna use a bunch of hit die for that since I got a short rest.
Ooh,
Oh, Mikey.
Mikey.
Perfect. And I'm gonna go, oh god. Here we go again. And
We're getting
How
tired.
far
I
away
don't know
are
how
they?
much farther we
you
can
said
run.
quarter mile?
At that point in time, Miri's 200 feet away,
He
and
calls
they're,
us.
we'll say, what's a quarter mile? 1,200 feet away? 1,400 feet
And are
away?
they down?
Yeah, they're like downhill,
He's
and
up.
you're on the same elevation.
Should I start drawing the teleportation circle?
Takes a full minute.
How long do we think it would take them to get to me?
They're pretty fast.
60. It's hasted 120.
Sorry, he's going ham on this sock
This
here.
suck. Okay.
About a quarter mile. Let's see. 1 second. I'll make find exactly what a quarter mile is.
5,280 feet.
You can't do math this fast?
Come on, DM.
No, I'm saying
Oh.
Kaz can't do
Okay.
that fast.
Oh.
There are 1,320 feet in a quarter mile. If they're hasted and running 120 feet per round, it's 10 rounds in a minute. That's 1,200 feet.
That's exactly a minute.
Yep.
All right,
11 rounds, they'll be there.
do it. And I'm gonna go on the other side of him.
You're running towards him. He's like,
I'm gonna start
on the
drawing a
ground
circle. I'm gonna
on
go.
this ledge.
and start drawing the circle
See
to
that he's doing that.
Drakengard.
I'm gonna run up to the edge and look down.
Mhm. You run up to him. You're now all together, finally, on top of this rocky outcropping. Sorry, don't spike the party.
Yeah.
And you look down into the forest below. You see, like, just little flashes of darkness passing through the trees, waking their way up. They're moving fast. Hasted.
Alright, well, they're hasted, but, Okay, they're gonna be here really soon. We gotta protect Kaz.
And where are you teleporting to?
Drakengard, I think is where we wanted to take him back.
Okay. You draw the sigil for that. And they come sprinting up the hill. They burst the tree line. They're now maybe 300 feet away, and you can see them in the open. You're near the end, but a couple more rounds.
Demiria, get in the circle.
Okay, I'll step backwards into the circle
You're
as
all
he's
standing
finishing
there.
it, but I've still got my glaive or my halberd at the ready.
I'm like frantically drawing the sigils for Drakengard.
Make a performance check.
Oh my god.
You guys could give me something over 10. You've been rolling so shit.
I know.
The past 10 rolls have been less than 10.
Yes,
for you guys.
I've tried to do something about it, but I can't. Performance 15.
15's the DC. So, as you watch them sprinting up the hill, hasted, maybe a dozen or so with shadow blades drawn, as they get maybe 120 feet, 100 feet, 90 feet, you're like finishing the last little scribbling bits, and you watch as the farthest of them like throws out, like you see summon a couple fireballs and start chucking them, these arcs of fire streaming through the air in slow motion. As you're like, oh god, you finish the piece, the chalk breaks, you're like, fuck it, and you just activate the portal. There's a flash of light as the multiple fireballs converge on your location, and all of a sudden you are stumbling forward out of, in a small quiet room, in the Red Drake Lord's mansion where you've been allowed to travel to. You all breathing heavy. The Drake guards, like turn towards you and they're like, whoa!
So sorry. Emergency.
Greymore gang, it was an emergency.
Hold up the patches.
They take the note from you and like, okay, Greymore gang, welcome. I won't ask any questions. Just please exit this way.
Alright.
Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Here's
You
a gold.
leave.
Here's 5 gold.
Oh,
Ugh.
thanks, I guess. They take the money. You
We
guys,
weren't here.
you stagger out into the open streets. It's midnight. Drakengard, the quiet, familiar, comfortable city, at stark contrast to the tension of moments ago. Your dad turns to you and says, "So you like to cut it real close, huh?"
Well, usually we have 2 others with us, and they're really smart and good at getting us out of the not getting us out of these situations, but we don't get into them to begin with. And so
With a little more improvisation, it was than usual.
But hey, Kaz, great job. We made it.
If I'm anything, it's a distraction.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so,
Boy.
I think it's really late. We should just go to an inn, spend the night, and then we can talk more in the morning.
Sounds good.
I think we have a lot to talk about still.
We'll need to teleport to the woods to get back to the rest of the party because they have the airship.
You can't. There's nowhere to teleport to there.
Oh.
The closest you can go to is Leafside.
We probably would have.
You agreed that you guys would be
Yeah.
checking in now and then. What I'll say we do. This is
This
the
was
end.
all one day.
Yeah, this is all one day. It's midnight. This is the end of our session here, I think. What's going to happen? What?
Oh, I just thought there would be. Okay, I can do that the rest next session.
Well, I was going to do that. I was going to RP the conversation with your dad and like the bringing back together of the group and coordinating with sending and whatnot as it's happening together because it's been a long session. So you get it in, you go to sleep. Your dad does like come over to you and he says, "We have a lot to talk about. Thank you for getting me out of there. It was very dicey. Didn't know if I'd make it. But I'm so happy to meet you.
Me too. It's been a long time.
Yes. Again, I'm sorry for whatever you may have thought about how things, where I went to, what's been happening, but I had a role to fill, an obligation to the tribe, and I tried to do my best. I hope you understand that."
I think I do. Demiria, now knowing more about her tribe and obligations and now having some herself, is more understanding, I think.
really, really glad to hear that. I will talk to you about it at length tomorrow. We need to sleep.
Find a inn. We know lots of
yeah.
them now at this
Go to
point.
Drunken Drake and get a nice bed and meal and conk out. Get your long rest.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was dicey.
And yeah, that's the end of this session. I will stop the stream and
Splitting the party is hard.
splitting the party is hard. Thanks if you're watching.
Thanks for
See you later.
watching.